here, wanting to just saw Star Trek Picard. Finished binge watching the series, and it's time for a spoiler-filled review. So, spoiler warning: we're talking about lots of stuff. It'll take a while to talk about because it's just important. Let's just start off at the very beginning. So you have a story where it's like Captain Picard, well, Admiral Picard, or whatever, retired Admiral Picard, is hanging out on his vineyard, right? And I'm like, okay, that's fine, just hang out on your vineyard, have a nice time. And the reason why he's hanging out in his vineyard instead of being on a starship or doing something else is because of an attack that happened on Mars. Mars was attacked because the androids that were made in there, they call them synths for some reason, and I don't like it. It should be called androids. That's what they called them in Star Trek. The androids on Mars, when Utopia Phoenicia shipyards, basically were hacked. You could clearly see they were hacked, and they decided to kill everybody they kill every human they could find on the station, and then blow themselves up. Attack the stuff and blow themselves up. And okay, here's the deal. I kind of like this. Okay, again, one of the things that is a good idea to do in Star Trek is world build. Right? Figure out what world build, show off people doing their stuff, normal stuff. I like seeing world building because it makes the world feel real. It's one of the things I'm trying to work on. I made a comic once, Star Wars, where I was like, okay, Star Wars Episode 1. I was like, you know what we really need here is to have at least one day in the life of both Padme and Anakin. Okay, just one day in the life. Okay, so it was just I just put them both together. It had to be like this. You have Anakin, dirt poor, going like, is there any more food? I was like, no, I'll buy some tomorrow later, says Sheeny. Let's go. We gotta get to work. The Padme is like, I can't eat anymore. It was like, it's like the queen. Just like, I can't eat anymore. Oh my gosh. This is some stuff. Come on, you have a speech. Let's go. There's like, it just shows off how the world works, and I like seeing that. I'm going to work on that more because it's going to be great to work on that. There's a lot of stuff I want to see in a lot of series that they need to work on. When I get to my Star Wars comics, I'm going to look out again. Yes, those are coming back because Last Jedi and The Rise of Skywalker kind of made me want to do that. And so did Star Trek Picard because wow. Let's continue on. So after Mars is basically attacked by the androids and stuff, and androids probably elsewhere probably did stuff, freaked out and did stuff. There was an android ban. The Federation banned androids, and I can kind of understand why they'd be more like, they'd definitely be like, we got to be careful about androids because they went crazy. Something went wrong with them, and they attacked, caused problems on Mars and other places probably. So I'm like, okay, I can understand this. So then we go to, basically, I think we find out that this happened the first time when Picard is basically being interviewed by somebody, a news station or something like that comes to his apartment to talk about stuff, and he's like, let's keep this civil, let's keep this cool, let's not talk about any personal issues. But then she starts mentioning why you decided to mess with, try to help the Romulans. It turns out that the Romulans were basically this is interesting. It's one of those things that I'm looking at like, wait a minute, this seems a little weird. On the original J.J. Abrams Star Trek, there was a supernova. All right, Romulan star went supernova and wiped out some Romulan planets. All right, caused problems. Either wiped them out, wiped out some Romulan planets, caused problems for other people, other Romulans all over the place. Definitely caused a huge problem for the Romulans. So. Yeah, that was in the Star Trek movie. Did you hear a Star Trek movie? So, and now I hear it's in this. Now I see, hear it's talked about in this show. And that's an interesting thing because then it's like Captain Picard and other Federation crew members, other Federation starship, other Federation crew members were like, yeah, let's help these people out. They need help. They're refugees, so they go and help out. And Captain Picard actually has two people he's living with. Uh, this couple, this lady and this man and this woman who are Romulan, and they're hanging out with him. And that was kind of cool. I like those guys. I like them. I like them a lot. And basically they're talking about stuff like, yeah, it was really crazy. Thanks for your help, Picard, for saving us. And then it's like, I think what happened was, while he was working on saving people, helping people out, while they were working on that, Mars and probably some other places in the Federation planets were basically attacked by the androids. So they're like, yeah, we need help right now. Stop whatever you're doing and go help to stop these androids attacking us. And he's like, oh no, I had to abandon the Romulans, or something. Yeah, I had to abandon the Romulans because I'm basically going through the whole series in ways of how things worked out. I had to abandon the Romulans. I had to leave, because Mars was attacked, other places were attacked, and basically, I felt that was wrong for the Federation to do that, to abandon Mars, to abandon the Romulans in their time of need. I felt that was wrong, so that's why I resigned. I'm like, okay, that makes sense. He resigned because he felt Starfleet was messing around, doing stuff they shouldn't be doing. Now, and that makes sense. But here's the big deal. So yeah, he then decides to just go hang out in his vineyard for how many several years, and that's a little bit of an issue. Okay, because basically it's like, okay, yes, you lose the support of the Federation. They can no longer support you. You have to go. I gotta stretch out. Oh, dude. You have to go. You can't. You don't have the support. So but there are other ways to get a ship or something and keep trying to help out. Even without the Federation's help. I mean, couldn't you? It's a little bit weird how that works. But anyway. So Picard's ticked off, and then they mentioned this, like, did you choose to work with the Romulans instead of helping the Federation? Is it true that you chose to work with the Romulans instead of helping the Federation when they were attacked by the androids? It's like, the Federation, the Romulans needed, the Romulans needed help with this. He gets all angry and yells at them, and then leaves. And it's like, I'm like, no, I'm out of here. I'm leaving. Get out of my house, And I'm like, okay, yes, I know. You go, sir. You go, sir. That stuff's messed up. That was just terrible what those journalists did, man. Coming at him like that. He was like 90 years old. What's wrong with you? So yeah, when that happened, I was like, yeah, this is terrible. You can't be doing that to him. That's horrible. So then after all that, he's later after all that, he's like, yeah, he meets this girl. He meets this girl. And then he's like, that girl looks familiar. Let's look, see if I've seen her before. Finds out there's this painting of this girl that Data made, and it's titled Daughter. And then he's like, oh my gosh, this is like Data's daughter or something. Finds out that she's in trouble. Obviously some bad guys. At first, you don't know who they are. Some bad guys are basically. Well, what happened was she was hanging out with her boyfriend in this apartment, and at least, well, in my opinion, I knew something was going on because, of course, of his skin color. I wish that wasn't the case, but it was. I was like, this is kind of cool, It'd be a shame if this ended. It's just like knife. Like, dang it. Oh my god. So then he gets stabbed. He gets pinned to a wall or something. Like a knife. And then guys in black, all dressed all in black, come in and attack this girl and try to put a bag over her head to take her away. Then she basically goes from freaking out to beating the heck out, just taking them down with amazing efficiency. I'm like, oh heck yes, okay, this is cool, and it turns out, of course, she has some really cool abilities, and is like going like, yeah, let's go, then they finds Picard, and they try to escape from these more guys trying to come after them, and then she is they basically while she is beating up these dudes to try to keep Picard safe, uh, one of them basically one of them basically overloads his weapon and starts his weapon on to get his weapon on overload, spits acid on her, and then that gives them enough, that gives her enough time, that makes it so that she stays close to that weapon, and everything explodes. And I'm like, wow. I don't think people are going to not that's really that's basically showing off how a covert operation went wrong there, dudes. I don't think that stuff going to no one's gonna people are gonna not gonna just ignore that. That explosion was pretty big, dude. Man, wow. Well, that was definitely like a city block, man. People are gonna notice that stuff. So yeah. And then it's like he's like, oh my gosh. Kind of gets home and he's like, oh my gosh, the girl's dead. And then he finds out, he gets her necklace, and then he goes to find out through this one innocent-looking doctor lady who then she's like, oh, this is from Dr. Maddox. One of Dr. Maddox's necklaces. He gave it to the androids he created. He's like, wait a minute. Yeah. It's like he made these androids and stuff. Yeah, usually there's two of them. Usually they're made in pairs. It's like there's a twin. Oh no, we gotta find out who this twin is. And it's like goes to show off this girl, her twin sister, who is basically on the artifact, which is on getting basically is learning how to work on this thing called the artifact, which is basically this big old Borg cube. And the big old Borg cube is basically being used, being checked out by the Romulans, and it's like I'm looking at this like there are people helping people the dormant Borg on there to basically get free of their mechanical parts and to start just try to heal and stuff like that as best they can. And I liked that a lot, especially when they introduced Hugh. And I'm like, heck yes, that's cool. And eventually 7 of 9 was came around sometime, and I was like, yes, yeah. And unfortunately, they had Icheb, and one of the worst, most horrible cameos I've ever seen in my life. Yes, I said spoilers, of course. Yeah, this. Icheb is horribly tortured, having parts of his body removed with no anesthesia. And it's a horrible scene. Oh yeah. One thing I didn't forget to mention: a lot more violence than normal. Now, Star Trek has had violence in it. That's the issue. There are people out there who are saying, "Oh my gosh, there's just so much violence." Other people saying, "No, why do you say there's so much violence? There was violence in Star Trek." Yes, there was, but not at this level. It's a lot of things. It was violence at a level that was higher than normal. Actually, the sexuality was just about right. Yeah, but there was also foul language in English at a level that's really not represented much. It's really really weird how that worked. And I'm like looking at that like, yeah, that's not fun. But yeah, here's the big deal with me. There were so much issues where it's just like you have a new character. We have a character returning in other places. There were characters who are who were returning and then getting killed horribly, sadly, insultingly, and I didn't like it there, and of course I don't like it here either, because I'm like, wait, Egypt was amazing, it was pretty cool, I liked him, him and Seven, were, basically family, so it's like, okay, so in this one, they wanted him killed so that she could become a vigilante, and basically try to kill whoever caused his death, and I'm like, okay, and she does, and I'm like, yeah, that's good. She deserved that. That girl deserved to die because of that, but still, it's like, yeah, she's gone. Yeah, there's not much build up, I guess. Not enough build up, or she was basically for one episode, which is kind of weird. Which makes it, again, think that it should have been like a movie or something. Because then it's like, if it's a movie, it's like, okay, it's a whole movie. Here's a new person, a bad guy, get out of here. Oh, here's someone else, this, that, and other thing. It was a little weird, that way. Yeah, almost out of time. I'm going to try again. See what I can do. So check me out. I'll be right back. Part two. Yeah, we'll figure this out because I gotta figure it out. I don't know exactly how this would work. Oh, I guess I can read them. I don't know exactly because it's a little weird. I'll make a playlist, I guess, because I can't really do what's it called, use my AVS movie editor to put the splice these videos together. I can't do it with these videos. It doesn't want to work. It doesn't work with them. So I guess we'll put them on as different parts. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, Hero Comics here talking about Star Trek Picard. Let's continue on. Spoiler-filled review. Spoiler-filled stuff. Let's get on with the whole story. Alright? And I'm just going through the story and then talking about different things I didn't like about it. And liked about it. Did like about it and did not like about it. That's what I have to be. So, yeah. Egypt Dead 79 is basically on the warpath and stuff. It's very weird because she was kind of Vulcan-like, I think. Very much so. So it's a little bit weird for her to be kind of emotional and whatnot. But Egypt, yeah, I can understand that. Anyway, so yeah, back to Picard. Picard himself, he's like, they're basically okay. This was one of the coolest scenes in the whole in the series until the end, of course. Until the end, of course. And in that scene, it was like this. You have Picard basically talking about how Daj, the girl, the android girl, was killed, right? To his to the Romulan couple that lives with him, and they're like, oh well, or like the Romulan, the wife, the Romulan lady that lives with them, and she's like, that's terrible, oh my gosh, that's terrible, they're talking about that stuff. All of a sudden, the husband comes in with groceries. He's like, look, I got groceries. Oh no, I dropped them. And he like grabs everybody, and then all of a sudden, Alicia Black, Sergeant Blast goes over their heads. Sergeant Blast going over their heads, like, oh, sit down. I'm like, okay, heck yes. It turns out they were at least were secret agents, so they're able to handle the next, Black Ops team of Romulans. With no problem, and they were able to actually, keep one alive so they could interrogate him and find out that, of course, there's basically, in other scenes, I think it was when the twin girl meets this good-looking Romulan dude who is played by Skander from. Skander, who played Edmund from, I believe. Yeah, he looks pretty much the same from Chronicles of Narnia, Walden Books Chronicles of Narnia. And I'm like, at first I didn't understand it. Then I started, noticing because me and my mom, we watch Dawn Treader just about every night. So yeah, how it goes. And so basically, I'm like, oh my gosh, what a role, dude. Anyway, so you have, this dude was saying stuff like, hey, you notice how Romulans don't have androids? Why is that? Or something like that. Somebody was saying that. Or maybe it was him, maybe it was somebody else. But it was definitely something on the board cube. And I'm like, yeah, why is that? And then you see this dude who they're interrogating. And it's like, he's like, they start off as like, who are you? What do you want? And he doesn't say anything. And then there was actually a pretty cool moment where the wife's like, huh. Yeah, so first, like, the husband's like, he's not talking. He's like, and the wife's like, yeah, he's a northerner like you. He's a stubborn northerner like you. Like that. So it's like, if you, it's like, they said, if you, promise to set him free if he tells him. But he's like, yeah, whatever. I'm Romulan Black Ops. I might as well say, talk about stuff because these might be my last words. So he's like, yeah, look, basically, he's like, yeah, that person you're looking for is, we call that the Destroyer. Okay, we call her the Destroyer. She'll bring death and destruction to our world. So we're going to basically find her and kill her, and anything else like her. Yeah, and then he basically bites onto like a capsule and melts. So I'm like, okay, because they melted before. So I'm like, So basically, they've done that before. That guy did that, spat it on her so that she would hurt her too while he melted. So it was like, yeah. And it's just like, okay, that's bad news. What are we gonna do? They talk about some stuff, and it's like, oh yeah, yeah, definitely, this is some crazy stuff we got to deal with. So they're trying to deal with it, and it's like, oh my god, Captain Picard's like, I need a crew. And he's like, oh, you need a crew? Wait, it's like a crew, so you're gonna get like Riker, Jordy, Troy, Riker, Jordy, Troy. It's like, oh no, 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 I don't want them getting it. I don't want them getting involved in this. They do it in a heartbeat. I mean, that's the problem. No, I don't want them getting involved in this. He's like, I don't want anyone getting involved in this that cares about me. That will sacrifice themselves, will sacrifice their lives for me, or something like that. And it's like, oh, so we need someone who hates you then. And I was like, okay, And then we go over to this trailer out in the desert or something, and there's this actually not bad looking let's say lady hanging out in there, but she's definitely seems a little off, a little frazzled there, and she's like, he's like, and she's like, going, oh heck no, pulls out like a rifle, a phaser rifle or something. It's like, get out of here. He's like, all right. Picard's like, okay, all right, all right, and he's like, turns around and he has a bottle of wine. He's like, yeah, just Romulan plot, a secret Romulan plot to assassinate someone. And it was like, and she's like, is that the 78 or something like that? It's like, yes. I was like, dang it. So I'm like, I think she's amazing. I think I kind of like this girl, And yeah, she actually has this new crew member. Actually, was in Starfleet, but then after Picard resigned, it was like, I don't want to do this anymore because you guys something's wrong with you guys, and I want to help people in need. Somehow, I guess she was too close to him, so she got fired. I guess I don't know. Guess she did some favors for him. We tried to get some stuff going, do research, find out what really happened on Mars, but it's like, nah. But they're like, nah, you're too close to this. You're messing around, poking your nose in where you doesn't belong. You're fired. Say goodbye to your good standing in society, I guess. So I'm guessing she blames Picard for ruining her life or something. And in ways, I can understand it because it's like, okay, you know, she was trying to check things out and got fired. But in other ways, it's like, yeah, you did, but can't you get something? Can you find something? Oh yeah, well, she got addicted to drugs and alcohol and just fell into squalor. And now, don't get me wrong, there are people out there who are like, well, there shouldn't be any squalor. It's Star Trek, because I'm like, 24th century. I'm like, yeah, but here's the issue. If you're messing around with stuff you shouldn't be, then stuff can happen where it's like, okay, you think about this. Think about this. She was had a very high profile career. Then she was, then she got fired from it and just basically discredited, and then she fell into despair and sadness and alcohol and drugs and probably couldn't get another job or something. I don't know. Was deemed too much of a liability to other jobs or whatever. I'm thinking that's probably what happened. And so she basically couldn't find, decided to go off the grid. Maybe I don't know. Because she does mention how it was like, oh yeah, I saw your house, yeah, that big old house with all that antique furniture, looking all good and comfortable. I can show you around my place, but it'd be embarrassing. I'm like, yeah, the average. I don't know exactly how things. The issue with me is, with Starfleet, usually it's like, okay, anyone who's in Starfleet will be fine, but she went off grid, because I guess it was on grid. Things were just too rough, I guess, for her to be on grid because there was, or no one would help her. I guess it's weird. I can kind of understand why she'd want to get off grid because she was discredited. But yeah, it's a little strange. But I'm pretty sure that basically, yeah, if you're not basically considered a producing member of society, for the Federation, you might end up basically having trouble. Now, I don't know exactly how it would work because it's like this. There's issues. course, a rehab center. But no, I'm just like, if you're just like, no, I don't want to get clean. I don't want to do, I don't want to, forget these. I don't want to be with these guys. I'm out of here. I'm leaving. I'm gonna do my own thing. I don't know if they like that, especially if it's like you're causing problems. Yeah. So I don't know. It's a bit weird. I guess they wanted to have that whole rich versus poor people type of thing or something. Show that she's really down in the dumps, really dealing with all that crap. I guess. I mean, yeah, I guess, but yeah. Well, whatever the case is, she eventually comes around to working with Picard and getting a friend of hers who has a ship that looks very kind of generic, if you ask me. Kind of like a generic starship, kind of like a generic spacecraft from any number of video games. Yeah, pretty much. Because he's like, yeah, it's just like, it doesn't look very remarkable at all to me. It looks kind of cool, but it's like say Destiny or something like that, Destiny or No Man's Sky or something like that. Not really a Star Trek ship. It's a little weird, that one. This guy is pretty cool. He's a Hispanic dude who made a bunch of holograms where it's him. It's the guy who plays him, but doing different accents and with different personalities. That was fun. That was a lot of fun. Kind of weird, of course, but yeah, it was a lot of fun. And then let's see here. While they're both trying to do some stuff, flying through space, Picard asks to visit a place, a Romulan settlement, and I'm like, thinking to myself, why are we going here? When we have a mission, this girl could be is being hunted down, and you see that basically Skander, the Skander Romulan, is putting the moves on this girl, and they're waking up in bed together, hanging out in bed together and stuff, and I'm like, okay, yeah, see, that's Star Trek. That happens a lot. Happens a lot. But here's the deal, like, why people are like asking me, well, not asking me, but saying, why do they like that? Why is she totally just doing stuff with this dude? She barely even knows. I'm like, okay, what I'm thinking is that this may not be the best explanation, but in my opinion, I think it kind of works. She believed that she was, according to what she was, basically the memories that were implanted in her. She believes that she was living with her very strict parents all her life, and now she's basically in college. That's what I'm thinking. It's like, ooh, I'm free. I'm all grown up and, on my own. And look, there's a cute guy. Yeah, let's have some fun. Woo. So it's like, yeah, that's basically what I think is going on here. But of course, he's trying to manipulate her into helping him figure out where she came from and if there are any more any more people like her. And she doesn't know this really, but that relationship to me was definitely kind of interesting because it's like she's young and innocent, but trying to cut loose and have fun. He is on a mission, so he's like, yeah, you have to be on mission. You have to work real hard to make sure that you make her happy, so that she'll trust you and won't tell you everything. That relationship seems, is weird and definitely kind of not forced, but weird. Definitely not like a pleasant one, in my opinion. But it pales in comparison to the relationship that Skander Romulan has with his sister, his crazy psychotic sister. This girl is basically like probably took some lessons from Listener Bator over here because Bator, I think, because she's just like, yeah, like, hey, she's like basically rubbing on him like, yeah, so anything going on? Yeah, I was like, how's things going? It's like, even he's like, just like, hey man, go quit it. It's like, just fine, I'm working on stuff. It's like, oh, you better, or else, I'll take over this mission. I'll do it the hard way, and I'll do it the hard way, and I'm like, oh, great. Then later it's like, so, well, later she, like, surprises him He's sleeping in bed by himself, and she's like sneaks in his room and surprises him, and he's like, "Oh, what the heck?" Wakes him up, surprises him awake, and he's like, what the heck? What's going on?" He's like, "Yeah, something's missing." Going, I'm like, "Oh, this girl's crazy." All this stuff. All right, I'll see you guys next time. How do you do? Let's continue on. Here our clients talking about Star Trek Picard. Continuing on talking about the relationship between Scanner Romulan and his creepy sister. All right, so yeah, she startles him awake by sneaking into his room, and he's like, "Oh, what the heck? What's going on here?" It's like, just wondering how are you doing with the mission. And he's like, I'm doing it. I'm getting the mission done. Okay. He's like, really? You're going really slow. I'm getting really impatient. He's like, well, I'm doing it. Okay. I can't. I have to be subtle. Remember what happened last time. He's like, remember what happened last time with that other one. You tried it your way, and it didn't work. She activated and she killed our guys and ran off, and then got blown up. So I got to do it my way. It's like, all right, fine. Don't you ever fall? Don't you fall for her? Just like starts basically choking the dude. He's like, oh my god. It's like, what is? Remember what she is? Tell me what she is. I was like, I'm like the destroyer. He's like, yeah. Don't you forget it. I'm like, oh, yeah, this girl's bad news. I'm like, yeah. So she was definitely a creepy, crazy, jacked up bad guy. I'm like, yeah. That's the problem. How are we gonna get rid of this girl? How are we gonna get rid of this girl? That's gonna happen, And then later it's like, we're just going. And so basically it's like he's trying to do stuff, but it's a little weird because he's hanging out with her, having fun, but then it's like he somehow ticks her off or something, and it's like, what, dude? Your job is to make sure she's happy. Chill, So that was a bit weird to me. But then you have so he starts helping her see that something's up with her life, something's weird. So she basically uses a scanner, a cool scene. She uses a scanner to start scanning all the things she owns. And she starts scanning these things, and if every single one says, "Oh yeah, this thing is only a few months," it's like 1 year or 2 or 3 years old, like 3 years old. You're like, what? 3 years old? But this is my stuffed animal I had when I was a kid. I'm like 25. What? It's just like my pictures. What's going on here? So she's definitely freaking out about it. And I'm like, okay, yeah, this is good. This is really good. Yes. What's going on here? Huh? And she's like, let me help you. He's like, let me help you. I got an idea. I got something I know can help. An old Romulan meditation technique. I'm like, okay. Now I don't remember the Romulans having meditation techniques, but it is possible that they do because, of course, they're related to Vulcans. So, yeah, Vulcans are lousy with meditation techniques. So, yeah, they might have some stuff. They prefer, of course, militaristic conquest to logic. But, living peacefully, using logic. But Romulans are Romulans. So, yeah, they could probably just still have some vestiges of the old world. So, they could try that. So, I was like, okay. See how this is going to work. She's not exactly a human. She's an android. But okay, let's see how this works. So they have her come over to this meditation room, and I'm like going, okay, this is gonna be interesting. How are they gonna do this? And the dude's like, hey, this is not for round ears. Some people with round ears. And it was like, Romulan dude's like, hey, it's not for people with round ears. I was like, oh, come on, she's with me. He says. I was like, all right, let's go. So they go in there. And he's like, okay, yes, just calm down and breathe and relax, and let's walk this pathway, through the pathway, and walk this pathway through. There's like this little pathway all along the floor with all these candles, and let's walk this pathway, through your mind. And while walking this pathway, on the ground, walk through the pathway through your mind. Remember your dream. She's holding out a dream she had. Okay, where she's basically seeing stuff. And he's like, okay, seeing some like a lab and stuff. So he's like, okay, yeah, walk through your dream. Let's try to walk through it and figure this out, And it's like it's a repressed memory or something like that. So it's like, okay, let's find out what's going on. So they go in there, they figure that they start working on. She starts working on this stuff, and the sister is watching on the camera, and eventually gets to the point where she's like, okay, I'm doing this stuff. I see orchids. I see all kinds of stuff. I see my dad working on something. It's like I hear someone's voice. Oh no! And he's like, no, no. It's like, oh no, this is when I wake up. I was like, no, no, no. Try not to wake up. Try to keep going. Try to keep looking. Look around. Keep looking. So it's like, oh my gosh. Oh yes. So it's like eventually gets to the point where she's like, yes, look. Like, what is he working on? Find out what he's working on. And he's like, oh. And he's like a wooden doll with her face. He's like, it's me. But I'm like a doll or something. What's that about? He's like, look up in the sky. See what you can see up there. And she's like, oh, he looks up in the sky. He's like, what? It's like, I see two moons in a sky that is like dark, is dark, blood red. He's like, oh, okay, yeah. Well, what is that? And it's like, oh, that is home. It's like, what? Like what? Well, wait a minute. Oh, how do I have this memory? Well, why was my dad working on me? Well, what is this stuff? What is going on here? He's like, what does it mean? And he's like, it means you're not real. Goodbye. And then I was like, what? And then leaves the room, closes the door, and then she's out. She's not able to, she's trapped inside. Make sure she's trapped inside. And then this Rubik's cube thing he was playing with, I think, an episode before. He put it over, nearby where she is, near the door, dropped it at the door, and it opens up, and all this gas starts coming out. This red gas starts coming out. She's like, "Oh no!" I'm like, "Okay, that's an interesting idea." He's like, so looking a bit sad that he has to do this, but I guess and she is actually not bad. It's pretty cute. She is pretty cute, and she's actually pretty awesome. So pretty awesome girl. So I'm like, yeah, I'd be a little bit not happy about her dying either, but you're the one causing it. So I don't really have that much sympathy for you, dude. But then then she activates. So she's like, oh. I was like, no, smashes the ground right in the place, and then she's like, she sees that she created she smashed a bit through it. And it was like, smashes her way through it, and then it's like, oh no, it's like, and he's like, what the heck? So then I think the black dude black Romulan dude who was guarding the place before was like, oh no, I gotta get in there and kill her. And he's like, no, wait, no, wait, the radiation, or something like that. It's like, yeah, whatever that is, she's surviving it long enough to try to break free. I don't know how it'll work with I was gonna do with you. So basically, she breaks through that floor, smashes through. She breaks through that floor, smashes through the ceiling of the next level. Now, while she's doing this, while this is happening, Picard has come aboard the Borg cube and is being troubled by flashbacks of him being the Locutus. But Hugh was there, and he's helping him try to keep steady and show off how basically people who were Borg, basically dormant Borg on that ship, are now getting basically their implants removed and trying to live normal lives again. And it's like, oh my gosh, this is awesome. And Picard's like, man, this is awesome. It's cool to see that people can come back. I didn't know it was gonna be like that. On this scale. And all of a sudden, I need to find this girl. And smash the. Oh yes. So she smashes through the window. I'll talk about this in a second. No, the stuff that happens a little bit before. In a second, she smashes through the ceiling. And right in front of Picard is like, oh crap, it's like, what the heck? She's like, she doesn't know who to trust anymore. But Picard's like, oh my gosh, it's you. You're here. I'm here to help you. Your sister, gave to me before she died. Here's this thing. It's like the necklace. It's like, oh my gosh. It's like, we gotta get you out of here. Let's go. It's like, and so they leave and run off and find an escape path. Now, here's the deal. Before all this happened, okay, basically what's going on is we have this ticking clock, right? You have this huge ticking clock, all right? This girl is being manipulated by these people who want to kill her, all right? On this Borg cube artifacts thing. So I'm like, okay, let's get over there as soon as possible. But he's like, wait, I gotta stop at a place first, Picard says in an earlier episode. And that place is a Romulan settlement where they flashback to like 10, 15 years ago, 15, 20 years ago, when Picard's hanging out with these nuns, these Romulan nuns, And I'm like, okay, Romulan nuns helping out. It's like, it's cool. That's cool to see that the Romulan nuns are helping with the evacuation and whatnot. And then it's like, yeah, the Romulan nuns are like, we found this kid, this boy. And I'm like, okay, there's a kid. That's fine. That's fine. The kid takes a liking to Picard, and they hang out and then play around, play sword fight. And I'm like, that's cool. That's cool. He's learning to be okay with kids now. He's trying to hang out and be a good friend, be a good person, be a good friend, not be so harsh to them as like he used to be. And then it's like, yeah, there and it's like and I was at first I was like, okay, yeah, they would help. These people are nuns basically. They're basically sworn to help out. So yay, this is great. And then years later, he's like, yeah, we gotta go to this planet. I gotta check all these people, these nuns, and it's like these nuns, and he's like, oh, that's all. He's like, wait a minute, that planet, wait, that's not where those warrior nuns hang out. It's like, oh yeah, I'm like, oh, warrior nuns. I was like, it's someone else. I was like, oh yeah. They're really good nuns. They're really good warriors. They're really good fighters, which is a little weird because we don't really get to see them fight much. That's a little odd. I didn't like that. And then it's like things get weirder and more annoying because then it's like this. When they get over there, of course, they have the young boy has grown into a young man, and he's like, oh yeah. Basically, it's like, oh, he's all grown up now, but he can be a nun. He's a man. Dang it! If only there was something, some thing he could do, somewhere else he could go. Yeah, if only. God, do you have any ideas? Yeah, I'm like, he's gonna join the cruise. He's gonna join the cruise, and I was like, yeah. And then there's a part where it's just like the conflict for no good reason because he's like, basically, what happened was he was hanging out with Picard was hanging out with him, having a fun time when they were a little kid. When he was a little kid, um, but then it was like he got a call that Mars is under attack and they had to stop the Federation had to stop giving aid to the Romulans so they could go help out with this attack on Mars. And I'm like, okay, the attack on Mars and stuff. I'm like, okay, but here's the deal. There's still a problem. Don't you have other ships that can? I'm like, dude, why are you calling him back? Shouldn't there be other ships that can help out? The Federation's huge. We have a bunch of planets. There should be plenty of ships that you can devote to that. At least at first, and then they can come out with another ready. But what the heck, But then he's like, I guess he had to leave, or something. They don't really go into explanation about this at all. But actually, it would make more sense if he basically people beam down or say we're preparing you for emergency beam out. You have to leave now. It's priority one. He's like, no, don't beam me out. And he's beamed out against his will. And then he tries to come back, and he's like, no, beam me back. I'm like, no, I gotta talk to these people. I gotta help. And then they get security and they subdue him and sedate him and then put him in quarters. Put him in quarters and confine him to quarters and whatnot. That kind of stuff would be better because they'd be like, okay, yeah, I don't. They're basically like, yeah, no, we're done here. Let's go. Let's get out of here. Let's go help our own people. Let's focus on our own selves, selfishness, things like that. That's just jerk move. And then Picard would be like, I did what I could. I was stuck. But it kind of looks like without that being seen, it kind of looks like Picard left because he was kind of being a jerk to everybody on there. It really kind of does. It's not cool. It's not cool. And then it's like, we have conflict for a good reason was because he left and he had to leave, I'm guessing, to go because of Mars got attacked. Conflict for a bad reason was with this kid who's now a young man with a sword, young man who's like a ninja, and he's like, he's like, I need your help. If Picard's like, I need your help, kid, basically. He's like, oh yeah, now because I'm a ninja now. Oh yeah, that's why. Because I'm gonna have value to you now. I'm like, what? What was wrong with you? Why couldn't you just stick with the whole, hey, where'd you go? Why'd you leave? What the heck? But, you just decided to be like, oh, you're being selfish, Picard. Being selfish, because you're just back because you want me to help you because I could fight. And I'm like, And here's the deal. Earlier they said that the person who, the warrior who chooses cannot be hired. They have to choose to go with you. They have to pledge themselves to you. So it's like, okay, yeah, conflicts because it's like, yeah, we all know he's gonna pledge himself to him. We all know that. So it's like, oh no, I don't know. I'm out of here. I don't need this crap. And he leaves. So I'm like, yeah, we know this. He's gonna pledge himself to him. We know that. And lo and behold, I'll see you guys next time. Check me out on YouTube. All right? Because my gosh, this is a problem when you're trying to make it so that the videos are in bite-sized chunks, so that the phone won't freak out and not and mess up the recording or something. I don't know exactly what's going on with this phone. I gotta work on that. I don't know if making a big, huge, giant video is a good idea with this one because I don't want it to basically be like, oh yeah, you have like giant several gig video that's unplayable. I don't want to do that. So yeah, we're gonna just try these shorter ones here. We'll continue on. We're gonna anyway. I'll make a playlist and just go from there. Anyway, so he's like, yeah, I'm out of here. I'm gonna walk away in a huff. I'm all angry now. I'm like, oh, there's no way. Like, yeah, I'm angry. I don't want to be anywhere near you. I'm like, yeah, he's gonna come back. He's gonna come back. And so it's like, lo and behold, what happens is, um, you they have these rough customers hanging out in this bar. Okay, and this is like little bar, like basically it's summertime. They're sitting outside in this little fenced area, and there's a sign on the gate that says Romulans only or something like that. And Picard like picks up that sign and throws it on the ground, in plain view of these guys, and then walks over it, then walks into the bar, opens the gate, walks into the bar, and sits down at the table and asks for a waiter. And there's some move of tough customers at the next table, including this black dude. And it's like the black dude takes the lead. He's like, yeah, it's like, Picard, you're back again, huh? Can't believe this, huh? I can't believe you show your face around here after what you did. I'm like, okay, well, yeah, he did leave. There was no forcing him out. He wasn't forced out. He was told that Mars was attacked, and he left. So I'm like, yeah, that's really crap. Picard, it really is. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. So it's like, yeah, what? So he's like, this guy's got legitimate grievances. From Picard's like, I used to be a senator. I used to be someone important, but then the new supernova happened, and I was left with nothing, and I was left with nothing, and now I'm living here in this crazy place, this desert and stuff. You were supposed to help us, and you didn't, and I'm angry, and these other guys are behind me are angry too. Yeah, I have a cutlass. I have my cutlass. Here's another cutlass. Here, let's sword fight. And I'm like, okay. Well, sword fight. Oh, this could get interesting. I guess Picard has sword fought before, not with a cutlass. He's used like a foil or something. So this is a little weird. I'd rather they use foils because that's something I know he does. But they use cutlasses. So he's like, okay, it's a little bit different with a cutlass than with a foil, but let's see how this goes. Kinda. Because I'm sorry, you have this pretty good sized black dude with a cutlass. And Picard being like 90 years old, with a cutlass. So it's a little bit interesting. How's he going to do anything? It's like, so you see him. He actually gets in a battle stance, but then he decides to drop his sword. I think he takes a hit. He's able to defend against the hit, but then he's like, no, I'm not going to fight you. I'm like, like guy like takes a swipe at him. And he's like, oh, get out of here. You know what? I'm not gonna fight. It's like I'm like, okay. What I would have rather had happen, of course, was the sword gets knocked out of his hand because he's old. Because it's like, oh crap, oh no. It's like, oh shoot, this is not gonna go well. It's not going like I planned it to go. Shoot, this could be a problem. And then it's like the guy's about to stab him or whatever. But then you see, of course, Ninja Kid behind him going like, "Hey, dude," he's like, "Yeah, man, I'm ninja. I have a sword too. You might want to just choose to live here because he likes that. Yeah, dude, choose to live. I want to choose. You have to choose whether you live or die, man. Please choose to live. I really don't want to kill you." And he's like, yeah, sure, whatever. It's not like black dude has died ever before in this series. Like a black dude only freshly only introduced moments before has died in this series. I'm gonna stab at Picard, not the dude, no, the defenseless Picard, not the dude with the sword behind me, who is basically like Anakin Skywalker, kind of when they first met in New Hope. No, it was a Phantom Menace. Little dude, little squirt running around causing trouble. This is the little squirt running around causing trouble, who's now a grown man, who's now a young man who has some serious fighting skills. Hung up with the warrior nuns. So I'm like, yeah, I'm sorry, I would turn to fight him, myself, as I'd be like. So it's like, but instead the dude's like, no, I'm gonna stab at Picard because like that's a real threat. Like a young dude with a sword in a gi is a ninja gi is a real threat. Yeah, and it's like his friends basically try to do some, like he tries to like stab at Picard, of course. And dude's like, okay. He's like, okay. It's like, and I'm like. You see the dude just like go like, oh shoot, why can't I feel my everything? I like that part. On Dragon Ball Z bridge, she's like, why can't I feel my everything? Falls over dead. I'm like, yeah, that's kind of a waste in my opinion, but that's the way you want to do it. Fine. At least you now have. Oh, he's like, yeah, I pledge. And I was like, yeah, I pledge my sword to this dude. Anyone who wants to fight him has to go through me. I'm like, yeah, okay, yes, yeah, okay, yes. I knew this was going to happen. And it was fun. This was kind of cool, but dang, still, I knew this was gonna happen because why the conflict in the first place? Unnecessary. And then it's like now you have this going. Boy, oh boy, he could have done some cool stuff with this character, but like say had him get injured by the young dude, get beamed to the ship for medical treatment, and then they had to leave because some other ship was coming along or something. I don't know. Basically figure out what's really going on. And then be back to the planet and be like, okay, I was wrong. Let's not do that crap. Let's not be angry at Picard no more. At least. So he tried his best. He helped me out or something. But no, they said, no, we're just gonna kill that dude. Yeah, I don't like that. Like dead black dude number 2. There you go. Boy, yeah, that's not fun. But anyway. So they have this ninja kid now, and I'm like, okay, got a ninja kid. All right, let's see what we can do with this. And apparently not that much. And it's like, all right, ninja kid's hanging out, looking cool, looking cute, looking cool and naive, and yet super deadly, And then it's like, there was one more part where it's like, all right, we found it. We're fighting against a dangerous ship. Then someone else comes along, another ship comes along and saves them, and it turns out to be Seven of Nine. And moves off, and then he's like, oh, he's like, they beam this person up immediately, and he's like, you see the dude pull out his sword, his little katana, and it's like, over on his back, it's like, I got my sword ready, in this case, they're a bad person, and it's 7 of 9, it's like, and then he's like, you can put your sword away, I'm like, yeah, okay, is this how it's gonna be? It's gonna be apparently so, because then it's like the next episode, they're disguised, and disguised is like, yeah, we're disguised, including him, and of course he can't have his sword because he's disguised. I'm like, oh boy, and it's like, yeah, you stay in the background, dude. Stay in there and look cool, maybe say something quippy every now and then, like, we took time away from going to try and save a girl who might be dead. Okay. who's in definite danger of being killed for a background character. A cool looking background character who does some cool things every now and then, but he's just a background character. You know, he's like, and not even like Worf. Okay, Worf is like, yeah, I'm Worf, son of Vogue. I'm awesome. I could kill you. Should kill you where you stand. It's more like, a special, guest who's like, yeah, I got ninja skills. I was like, all right. Well, right now we're doing a diplomatic mission. We're going to talk about stuff. So, yeah, just sit there and we'll talk about stuff. All right. I was like, okay, guess you need ninja skills. And every now and then they'll be like, okay, we need ninja skills. Let's go. I'm like, yeah, yeah. But yeah, not that often. Especially that disguise one. The disguise one was, in my opinion, one of the worst episodes. Because that's when Icheb was tortured and killed. And then it's like, yeah, you got to go in disguise. People, and then it's like, okay, you're in disguise, and now that you're in disguise, you just hang out in the background while you try to figure something out, and then it's like, oh yeah, you're in disguise, Ninja Kid, you're in disguise, you can't bring your sword along, which would have been freaking cool, especially in disguise. You didn't think about it, he was wearing a leather jacket, it'd be like nice if he had the sword in his jacket, and then it was basically like or at least a tanto, like a knife or something. In his jacket, so he could actually slice around, hide in there. But it's like, nah, So it's like he had to use guns, and it's really weird when he uses guns. So yeah, but then it's like, okay, while you're doing that, what was it? He's like, yeah, but Picard, that's the issue. That was the big thing. Picard, after he becomes, he's in disguise. Okay, Picard has to get disguised. I'm like, okay. Picard gets disguised. How are they going to disguise Picard? It's like, yeah, just put an eye patch on him and a beret and yes, have him talk in a French accent. And I'm like, wait, what? You kind of already know that Picard's French accent isn't very good. And also, it's Picard, Captain Picard, Jean-Luc Picard, one of the most famous men in the galaxy. Okay, so an iPad isn't gonna work. To me, that was like a joke. Yeah, that was a weird joke to me because it was just like he's just like defiled is what you are, defiled. I'm like, oh, once you get the borg in them, there's no coming back. I'm like, you guys are doing a pretty good job of keeping your getting straight faces with this crazy thing happening right in front of you. Because I'm looking at this like, wow, wow, this is ridiculous. This is super crazy because it's like, what are you doing? They're totally gonna figure you out, man. This is the worst. It's like they have a guy. Okay, it's like one of the things is like. Not only are they space thugs, this is space Vegas basically, but they're space thugs. They have a reptilian dude who can smell if you're lying. Okay, giant reptilian dude who can smell if you're lying. So I'm like, maybe we should have Picard in the background, or what I would have given him is like, say, give him a. At least a ninja headpiece, but definitely I think more of an executioner's mask, or say a fencing. Why not? An executioner's mask or something to hide his entire face, and then have him not talk much. Or if he's gonna talk, then talk in like say he has done a pretty good, deeper, more Cockney accent. Basically, and that would work a lot better than what he did because it's like, really, everything else was like, you're a hype man, says the black lady to or the pilot guy, the Hispanic pilot dude. I was like, you're a hype man, you're a face guy, you're basically a pimp, you're basically a pimp. You look like a pimp, so yeah, you gotta act the part. Yeah, go on ahead. Wear that awesome outfit. And with the feather in the cap. I don't know who I am. I'm somebody. Someone else is somebody. Ninja Kid is some kid. And I'm like, And Picard, you're the guy that's going to be doing all the talking. I'm like, oh, what the heck? Why can't you be the one doing all the talking? She has proven herself as a good talker. So what the heck? Proven herself as a good, as a way, having a way with words. So I'm like, what the heck? Why can't she do it? And you're like, oh yeah, yeah. See, I found her. I found her while I was doing my stuff. I'm a ranger, or I'm this, I'm that, and this other stuff. Why can't we, figure this out? I need to see Maddox. You better show me Maddox. Better show me my stuff. She could do that. So it'll be better for that, been like that. Anyway, so things have to take a bit of a turn, but they deal with it. They're able to figure things out, of course, because they home dude, pilot dude is in the background, Ninja Kid's in the background. So it's like, yeah, when things took an interesting turn, they were like, oh no, guns, knocked everybody out. So I was like, oh, got everybody. See you guys next time. Check it out on YouTube. Continue on. So basically, continuing with talk about every episode, and just going through it, spoiler filled, of course, just going through it and just talking. Yeah, it's taking a while, but I'm gonna get through it because it's very important to me. So anyway, stretch out. Yeah, okay. Let's stretch my legs out. There you go. There you go. Blood pressure medication can have some interesting effects on just feeling the burn. You feel the burn more. Stretch out a bit more like that. There you go. Okay, good. Anyway, so they basically, the Skies episode, in my opinion, was one of the worst episodes of the whole series because it was like the death of Icheb. People in silly disguises and with talking with silly accents, Picard especially, and it's just like, okay, yay, we got Maddox, yay, of course, yeah, people would have recognized if, you had someone who, anyone who knew what was basically was thinking straight, they would have noticed Picard's face, and noticed that that's also obviously a fake accent, and it's just like, ugh, So, but whatever the case is, they get Maddox. Basically stop Seven of Nine from killing the boss lady, who was the one in charge of having Icheb's board parts removed, and so she basically, it's like, okay, let's beam out of here. We gotta go. We can't stay here. We gotta move. If we kill their boss, then we'll have more heat on us than ever. So we gotta do this stuff. We gotta go. So it's like, all right, let's go. So they go, and they go and try to find. They beam back onto the ship, and Maddox is sent to medical bay to get healed up. And then 709 is like, hey, yeah, well, I guess this is it. I gotta go. How about you? Can I take a few of your phaser rifles? I can always use a few more. It's like that's the way it goes. It's like, oh, and Picard's like, all right, sure. I'm thinking. Some people are thinking, oh yeah, Picard was being, very being gullible. I don't know because he's Picard after all. He does know some stuff. He is Picard after all. He does understand the revenge. He does understand the thirst, the lust for revenge. So it's like, but she's like, well, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna leave. Get back to doing what I do. Can I have some of your weapons? I could use a few more. He's like, yeah, sure. So grabs some weapons, grabs some phaser rifles. He's like, well, see you around, Picard. Got work. Bye. And she beams away. And I'm like, okay. I think Picard was like, yeah, well, that sucks. Because he's like, yeah, it sucks that you decided to go that route, but, that's what you really want to do. It's the way it is, so I guess, because, well, I'm not going to try to stop you, I tried to stop you once, and you've really been on it, and there you go. I'm thinking, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking he understood that it's like, yeah, she's going to keep going for it. She's going to go for it. So I might as well just let her do it, or she'll do it by force, which would be bad. So there you go. So it's like, yeah. So she beams back down and tells that dude, tells that girl, yeah, that each other was like a son to me, and what you did to him was just horrible, and you're gonna pay for that. And he's like, oh, we pay for that, man. It's like that, and she's like, oh, come on. She tries to basically beg and say, no, come on, man, come on, I can figure this out. I can hook you up. How much? I can pay you. I can do this stuff. And she's like, oh, no. He's like, Yes, pay me, huh? I know what's going on here. You're stolen. You're second. So your next your soldiers will your security will come and get me. It's like oh, it's like well, not gonna work. It's like this is for each blasting, blows, blasting, disintegrates her, and then starts shooting and stuff like that. Shooting at the guards. They had the new guys coming in, and I'm like, okay, well, it was nice knowing her, I guess. Yeah, don't get me wrong, she's amazing, but there's like five of them. There's like bunches of them. Who knows how many there are? So yeah, she might be dead. Oh well, So like, let's continue on with our mission. We got Maddox. Let's get on to finding this girl. Let's move. So yeah, he tells her where. He does tell everybody where Picard, where and friends where the girl is, on that board cube in Romulan space. So it's like, okay, cool. So I was like, yeah, okay, you sit tight, dude. You feel better, all right. We're gonna get you, we're gonna get you fixed up as best you can, because he definitely was roughed up. Basically really beat up by worked over by that evil girl's forces. So he's really wounded, really hurt, and he needs to heal. So they're like, okay, let's heal her, heal him. He'll be fine. Gets all the machinery working, so that'll help heal him. And then they leave. And the doctor, who was Picard, who Picard had talked to earlier, had tagged along, right? And this girl is like one of the most innocent girls ever, all right? She was basically, but then she was contacted by this lady who we knew at that point was a bad guy, all right? And she's like, yeah, I want to talk to you about some stuff. And I'm like, okay. I was like, what did Picard tell you? And, it's like, oh, you heard you talked to Picard. What did he tell you? And I'm like, oh shoot. I'm thinking to myself, oh shoot, this girl's in trouble. These guys are bad news, man. This girl got nothing. This girl's, and then it's like, you see her later. She's able to actually, she basically, during the attack at Picard's home, she comes in and is able to. She comes in and basically shoots one of the bad guys. Blasts one of the bad guys. Behind one of the guys, blasts him, and he's like, oh. She's like, oh, dude. Hopefully that was on stun. And the Romulan lady of the the awesome power couple. That was living with Picard. She's like, yeah, Romulan disruptors don't have a stun setting. He's like, oh no. I'm like, oh no. I was like, oh, don't worry about it. They're trying to kill us. I was like, oh, okay. So I was like, dang it. So I was like, yeah, this girl's super innocent. But wait, how did she survive? Why is she alive when these people are like, yeah, take no prisoners? You're in the way, you're dead. You are someone who works on machinery, on basically on androids. You make androids, So what the heck? Why did they let her live? And then it's like you see her overhearing what's going on. What Maddox is telling them, yeah, he's on the board cube. The artifact. This thing. We gotta get over there quick. They're coming after her. And I'm like, oh shoot. I saw her listening, eavesdropping on that. I'm like, oh shoot. They did something. They did something. Make that girl wanna. Basically turn that girl to their side. Oh no. And then she's like goes over. When everybody else leaves, she goes over to him. And he's like, oh, girl, that's you. And it's like apparently there was, she was watching a video earlier of a pretty awesome video of him, that she was watching earlier where she's like, wait, you replicated like eggs and flour and butter and chocolate chips and things. Like, why? Why didn't you just make chocolate chip cookies? Why didn't you just replicate chocolate chip cookies? It's like, because I like making my own. I don't like the replicated chocolate chip cookies. See, try one. It's like, oh, wow, this is awesome. This is amazing. Yeah. So apparently they know each other. They do know each other. They're pretty close. And he's like, oh, girl, on that lying on the middle on that hospital bed. He's like, oh, girl, it's you. I'm so glad to see you. I thought I'd never see you again. It's like, oh man, this is. We gotta be careful, all right? There's all these people out there trying to kill us, because we make androids and stuff. It's terrible. She's like, yeah, about that. I'm sorry. I was like, what? I was like, what? He's like pressing some buttons on the thing, He's like, I'm like, oh, no, no, no. But then it's like the hologram, one of the medical hologram appears, and he's like, what's the nature of your emergency? What's going on to this guy? Wait, the soldier system isn't turned off. Wait, quick, turn it back on. He's like, deactivate hologram. I was like, oh my god, he deactivates. So I'm like, is this happening? Is this happening? And it's like, he's like, oh, he's like having trouble breathing, and he's just struggling, and he's like, I'm sorry, I can't. I was told to do this because of what I saw. I can't let what I saw come to pass. What they showed me come to pass. I'm so sorry. And then it's like, first one of her times where she's basically busted out crying, basically just breaking down crying and stuff, and it's just all sad. And I'm like, yes, this is sad, but in a multitude of ways that I'm like, make me not feel sorry for you. I'm like, you're freaking killing him. No, what I would have liked, of course, would have been it's like, hey, no. If like Picard and friends came in, it's like, oh no, oh, it's like, no, it's like, what's going on here? Put it back together anyways. He survives, but that didn't happen. Dude totally died, and she's just like, oh, yeah. Turns out he was too far gone. His heart couldn't take it. It's like, and I'm like, oh, everybody's sad, and it's sad, and it's rough, and it's like really sad. But then it's like she starts to put the moves on the pilot. And well, I'm like, okay, now the pilot, no, the pilot is one thing. He is apparently was a Starfleet officer as well, but there was a problem where he basically saw his captain get killed, and he decided to drop out of Starfleet, and just do his own thing. And while it's kind of interesting how a lot of people are Starfleet in this thing where it's not supposed to be like that, or Starfleet in this thing, that's a little weird, inconvenient. He's definitely somewhat of a more like opportunistic type of guy now. So I'm like, okay, if some cute girl is saying, hey, let's handle this biz, you might be more likely to say, he would probably be like, okay, sure, this is based on lust, no real relationship material at all, just lust, fun, after all the stuff I've been through, might as well have some fun, devil may care attitude. She freaking just killed her boyfriend. And she's like, yeah, on to the next. That really makes me not care about her much at all, which is really bad because there's stuff going to happen that is really, that involves her, and is like, I don't really care. I don't really care. It's one of those things that's just like, yeah, I don't care. I don't care that you feel that way because you killed that dude. You basically cut off his life support, and he died, and you watched it happen, and you're like, yeah, you were sad about it, but still, you let it happen, you caused it. So I don't really feel sorry for you. I don't really feel sorry for you at all. And then you're doing this, no, nope. And then it's like, yeah, no, look, I'm redeemable. Like, yeah, you are, but still, it's like with Kylo Ren when he stabbed Han Solo. Spoilers. You did something that you can never take back. It's never going to happen, you can do all kinds of other stuff, but you can never take back what you did. So, yeah, it's things are forever changed between us, you and us, the audience, Nothing you can do to be like, oh, that never happened, which is weird. Which is interesting how that happened. That whole trying to say stuff that is important and totally life changing. It never happened. After it happened, obviously happened. That I'll get to later. So anyway, So they finally get to. They basically he's like, oh yeah, you're gonna. Picard's like, yeah, okay. Eventually finds out that she killed Maddox. Right, she killed him. So he's like, okay, yeah, yeah. He's ticked off. Picard's ticked off. He's like, yeah, you're gonna turn yourself in, Doctor. To Deep Space, we're gonna go to Deep Space 12. You're gonna turn yourself in, but then it's like, oh crap, we got this other stuff we gotta do. We gotta move real quick. We can't go to Deep Space 12. Oh yeah. Also, it's like, yeah, he calls for some reason calls the same lady. Okay, yeah, there was a part that I forgot about in Star Trek in or wait like really early episode of Star Trek Picard. Picard tries to go through normal channels, normal Federation channels, to try to get help, so he can go and find his twin. And I'm looking at that like, okay, this is cool. He's trying to find this twin, this important twin, and he's going through Federation channels. I'm thinking to myself, okay, what usually happens in movies like this, in stuff like this, is that he tries to do federal, normal channels. It doesn't work. Then he goes back. It goes to like say the quote bad part of town to find the new way to do stuff. So I'm like, okay, let's see how this works. Let's see if they subvert my expectations. They didn't. Okay, what happened was like he goes to this one this one grandma, Admiral Grandma, and she's like, yeah, looking all prim proper, and she's like, yeah, yeah. He's like, yes, we must work together. I need I need a ship, I need a crew, I need help, to go find out what's going on here. I need you to reinstate me. Even if you don't like me being an admiral, I can be a captain. I'm cool with that. Come on, let's figure this out. And I'll talk about that next time. Check me out on YouTube. So yeah, he's getting dark. So let's finish up. So then he's like, yeah, yeah, you gotta help me. This is very important. You got things to do. And she's like, immediately does something that is very not Star. Yeah, there was some stuff in here that people are saying it's not Star Trek, very not Star Trek at all. And of course, the cussing is one of it. One of them, and she just basically says stuff. I'm not going to use the actual word she says, but here's how it goes. Basically, she's like, amazing. Such freaking hubris. You think you can just waltz? And he's like, wait, what? He's like, you think you can just waltz in here and demand, and ask and demand that I give you something you don't deserve, And he's like, well, this is important, there's stuff going on, your license, everyone's license danger. This is, super important. And he's like, no. She's like, no, 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 no. What's important? So what's going on here? You're just trying to, you're something. You're just trying to get attention. You're just trying to matter. Trying to find something you can do so you can, relive the old glory days. Get out of here. No way. And it's like, yeah, they hammer that home. Go home. And it's like, while he's leaving, he's on the escalator, leaving, go to the exit. He said, you hear her say, "Request denied." I'm like, we kind of figured that out when she said, "Go home." Go home, Jean Luc. My gosh. But then later he calls her and says, yeah, yeah, here I am. Here's stuff going on. I need help. It's like, all right, fine. Shut the freak up. Like, that's not cool. I don't like hearing people in the Starfleet say that. No, not really. So yeah, that really ticked me off. But anyway, it's like, yeah, shut the freak up. I'm gonna send you a squadron. No, I'll send you a squadron. Deep Space 12. So I'm like, okay, they're gonna go to Deep Space 12. It's like, oh, we're not gonna go to Deep Space 12. They have two reasons now. They're not gonna go to Deep Space 12. I'm like, what? Why not? And it's like, no. So they're going to Deep Space 12. We're just gonna go to like either the Borg cube. I think it was the Borg cube. Yeah, it was the Borg cube. We go to the Borg cube, the artifact. Let's go over there and let's get in there. And it's like, yeah, to me that was a bit rough because it's like, yeah, we had made two pit stops. So now one was very important because you needed to figure out where the girl was. The other one was, of course, for Ninja Boy, for Ninja Kid. And while Ninja Kid's cool, he's not that important, in my opinion. It just, yeah. Not really. But anyway, so they get to the Borg cube and stuff happens where, she basically breaks out and falls and then basically falls through the floor of that wall, that meditation room into the ceiling of the place right where Picard and Hugh are. And then Picard convinces her to run along with everybody else to go over there. And I'm like, yes, this is cool. Now we're doing stuff. And he's like, yeah, I know this room. This is the Queen's chamber. Hugh's like, this is the Borg Queen's chamber. She had a dimensional gateway installed just in case she needed to make an escape. So let me just type this in. I'm gonna need to work on this. So I'm like, okay. And of course, in true obvious fashion, Picard tells Ninja Kid to stay on the ship. Don't come down from the ship. I'm like, just thinking to myself, let me guess, it's going to happen in a little bit. Now that some serious forces are about to attack, some serious combat's about to take place. Let's see what's about to happen. And it's like, and sure enough, it's like, oh yeah, like oh no, bad guys. I was like, yeah, he comes down and starts, taking them down. Takes out all the guys. There's like four guys. He takes them out, and he's like, oh no, it's like, oh my gosh, I thought I told you to stay on the ship. And he's like, yeah, but I heard you were in trouble. I was like, all right, well, thanks for helping. I'm like, this is some stuff because I'm like, yeah, he could have called him. He could have said, yeah, get on this. Hello, help me out here. So I'm like, yeah, it was really weird. Then after that, they go through the dimensional gateway. They basically go through the dimensional gateway. Picard and the twin girl go through the dimensional gateway. Twin sister go through the dimensional gateway while Hugh and Ninja Kid stay behind to hold everybody off. And I'm like, okay, this is kind of cool. See Hugh and Ninja Kid working together because they're pretty cool guys. Hugh is a friend of Picard, so the Ninja Kid's like, okay, you're one of the guy I've swore to protect his friends, so I'll protect you, and I'll protect you as well. So like, yeah, let's go. So they fight, and then it's like, oh yeah, eventually, Hugh, I think. Eventually, Ninja Kid, they basically are able to escape enough. I think they get escape or something. They get caught later, um, I guess, or separated, and Hugh is forced to watch as some of his former Borg or XBs they call them get killed, and he's like, no, he's like, yeah, so he's like, all right, well, he's like, tell me what you want, or I'll kill more, and he's like, oh my gosh, what do I do? Tell me where you are, or I'll kill more. He's like, oh my gosh, this is terrible, and I think Ninja Kid helps break everything up and get them basically get them away from Hugh. But I think the Psycho Sister, basically throws a knife and stabs Hugh with it. And then Ninja Kid, I guess, not really understanding how medical stuff works, so pulls the knife out of Hugh and throws it at her, which causes her to escape, which drives her away. But I'm sorry, that's a bad idea. That to me was a bad idea. You pulled a knife out of someone. You shouldn't have pulled the knife out, because that sometimes you're not supposed to do that because that could cause more bleeding. Okay, so I was like, oh, I was like, oh, protect him, kid. And I'm like, did Hugh just die? Hugh just died. I'm like, what? That was like the most famous ex-Borg. And you killed him. You freaking killed him. What the heck? This is Borg number two. Most famous ex-Borg, followed by one of the most famous ex-Borg. Like, what? Why? So much opportunities for this. So many cool things you could do. I'm like, man, this series. What's going on with this series? So then eventually, she's like, yeah, scrap, we're, let's say, like, cut our losses. Let's get out of here. Kill all the Borg and stuff. I think 709 comes onto the ship to help stop the Borg from being killed. Hooks up to the ship as the Queen and starts to activate all the dormant Borg so that they can help join the fight. They join the fight. They basically join the fight. They're while as they're activating, she's like, like Twisted Sister and her henchmen see this happening, and they talked about earlier how to get rid of all those Borg. Because they're like, we gotta get rid of all these Borg because we're done with this project. So let's get out of here. It's like, wait, what can we do? Can we electrocute them? Blast them, electrocute them? It's like we could suck them into space. So says the black Romulan, her black Romulan henchman. He's like, she's like, I like that. And so then when 709 activates the Borg, activates the dormant Borg to try and fight against the Romulans. She's like, wait, blow them into space, quick! So it's like thousands of people, Borg are sucked into space, and 79 says no, and I'm like, and there are people online who are saying stuff like, but Borg can survive in space." I'm like, "Yeah, they can," and I'm like, "Yeah, they can." But they're not going to be. They've been blown out into space. There's no way they can survive. They have no way they can survive, but there's no way they can come back in and help. They're stuck out there floating in space. There are people trying to kill everybody now. So it's like, yeah, my forces are being sucked out into space. I want to protect my people, and I can't do it without them. So it's like it eventually gets to the point where they have no choice but to leave. And the Romulans have no choice but to leave, and so then I hopefully they were able to suck everybody back in, and give chase and they'll basically start repairing the Borg cube. I'm like, okay, that's cool. Start repairing the Borg cube. So it's like, all right, yeah, I repaired the Borg cube, and she unattaches herself, let the Borg cube handle it, and you have like 7 or 9 and Ninja Kid hanging out together. And Ninja Kid's like, "Oh, you going to assimilate me?" He's like, like, she's like, But yeah, I'm probably joking with him. I'm like, okay, like, oh, that was fun, but little fun moments every now and then. But still, it's like, yeah, this was an interesting idea to have all this stuff going on with him. So, but anyway, so after all that stuff going on, they basically end up on Riker's hanging out with Riker and Troy and their daughter in this cabin in the woods, and I'm like, okay, this is cool. This is super cool. Hanging with Riker, Jonathan Frakes, Marina Sirtis, and this kid, some little kid, some young girl who basically is kind of like very interested in the twin sister, and helps the twin sister calm down because she's like freaking out about almost being killed by Skander, the Skander brother. So it's like, yeah. So she's like freaking out, and it's like, yeah, there was some cool moments here because it's like, yeah, we're basically talking about what's happening in our lives. What are we gonna do? Picard's like, yeah, there was one part that was definitely a little interesting because it was like, Picard was, she was like, I don't know what's real and what's not real. She's like really kind of freaking out about stuff. She's like, man, so many things have been happening to me, all this time, and these people are betraying me. I don't know what's real and what's not real anymore. And then Picard's like, oh yes, joking around like, oh yes, yeah. So you're totally trying to deceive you. This is an elaborate simulation, something like that. And she's just like, ugh. And then bumps him aside. Basically walks past him and makes sure to bump him as she goes past. He's like, oh, he's like, hey, Riker's like, hey, catches him. He's like, hey, it's like, she could have killed me. No, she could have broken. She could have broken something. I think I'm glad she at least held it back. Something like that. It's like, come on, man. The Will's like, oh, come on, you. Then the Counselor Troy just reads him the riot act. I'm like, heck yes, that's what you messed up, you dude. Messed up with that girl. There were some cool moments. I mean, like super cool moments. Like she doesn't know what's going on. This is some crazy stuff. So many things happening with that girl. It was so good. It was just there was so many cool things with these characters. I was a huge fan. I was a huge fan of that. That was Star Trek to me right there. People are retired, trying to go move on with their lives. There's been good times. There's unfortunately been bad times. They lost their son to some sort of thing that only a android, a positronic brain from an android could cure. So there was no positronic brains that could be used or whatever. So it was really weird. But anyway. So after all that crap, after a lot of good stuff going on, that was fun. Yeah, we get back to our normal crew and just hanging out and trying to figure this out. They figure out where they figure out with the twin sisters' help. They figure out where the planet is. The Romulans have already figured out what the planet is, so they're just going to warp over. That's going to take a few days. The Picard and his crew, they find a basically worm, kind of a trans warp something. Thanks to help from what's the name? The twin sister. She figures out. She basically downloaded the data of where a Borg shortcut basically is, and shortcut wormhole is, and they decided to use that. They figure out how to use that. They warp to that, then they warp through. Then they basically go through that to get to the planet before the Romulans do. But of course, there's an issue. One of the more extended scenes you see back in the old, back in one of the episodes, when the chief of security, the chief of the Federation security, who also happens to be one of the bad guys, was talking to the doctor girl. She's like, "Yeah, swallow this." They say, "Here, yeah, swallow this here." Basically. That's the next thing we need to do is swallow this thing. I was like, okay, and that thing basically is a tracking device or something like that. So she's like, he's like, oh crap, but then she's basically like freaking out because he's like, oh no, somebody's, there's like a little bit of intrigue, like somebody's causing problems. There's a ship. Obviously, there's like some sort of cloaked ship following us. We got to find out where it is. Why is it? We tried to lose it like a few times, but it keeps finding us again. Something's wrong. So there was like a little bit of suspicion with the crew, and I'm like, some of that stuff is just a little weird because it's like, we know who it is. We know who it is, and when it's there, like, oh yeah, I think it's the black lady, black girl, black woman, the black mom, Sister Soldier, who I'll call her Sister Soldier. Sister Soldier, I think she's causing it, and it's like, oh no, do you think it's the pilot, or something? And I'm like, nah, I don't know. This is really sad. But eventually she's just like, I'm done. The homegirl, doctor's just like, I'm done. I'm gonna, take this medicine and I'll knock me out. So I'll be right back. Check me out on YouTube. Leave it. It's important to take a while because I want to get through this. We're almost through it. Hopefully only a few more videos until then I will figure something out. I don't know exactly what I'm going to do. Well, I do know what I'm going to do. I can record these videos and then put them on something else, put them on something else. Put them on the recording onto a picture of Star Trek Picard or something like that. And there you go, But whatever the case is, we'll figure it out. Anyway, so she's like the homegirl the girl, innocent looking girl who killed Dr. Maddox. Okay, she takes some sort of medicine that puts her into a coma knocks her out for a little bit, but also stops the tracer from tracking them. Now, here's the deal. There's definitely better ways to figure things out after that than what they did. What happened was he of course finds out where they are. He's able to actually follow them, into that uh, wormhole or whatever it is. I don't know exactly how it works, but whatever the case is, he was able to figure out how to get to them, chase after them, and get to them, and try to, get to them as well, and start causing problems for them, while in orbit of this planet. And they're like, what the heck? We got rid of the tracker. And he's like, yeah, must have calculated where we were going to be based on our last position. I'm like, Ian Angry Joe and a few others are like, that's not how it works at all. Maybe you could have said, oh yeah, he had a backup tracker, or he overheard our conversation about the Borg thing or something. Who knows? Whatever the case is. Whatever the case is, they get over there. All right, they get over there and they handle that. And they get over there, and also these giant ship-sized orchid things grab them, come out from the atmosphere and grab a planet and grab them and pull them down. And the Borg cube comes out, with 709 and the Ninja Kid on it, and that grabs, and the stuff grabs them too. And the orchids grab them too, pull them all the ships down into the atmosphere and onto the ground, and it's like, okay, see, this is interesting. Some giant orchids, weird orchid machines that can just basically drain the power out of ships when they touch them. Just appeared. I look at it as like, wow, that is super cool. This is something different. This could be Star Trek because this is awesome. Why not? Why not? This is an advanced race of beings who are like, yeah, let's find a way to stop these people in a way that's not going to destroy them. Let's be peaceful with this. Let's see what's going on over here. I was like, this is kind of cool. Oh, yeah. New video on YouTube. Very nice. Let's go later. Anyway, so I'm looking at this like, yeah, this could be super cool. This could be one of the coolest things ever. And I'm like, yeah, you know, that'd be great to see what society makes this. And it was an okay society, very nice and artistic looking. These guys are basically painted gold like Data was, and stuff like that. Then of course you see this really creepy version of gold paint version of the twin sister, and I'm like, you look a little weird there, girl. You look a little strange. Something wrong with you there? You look a little shifty-eyed. A little bit interesting. Are you a bad guy? Apparently so. And then it's like, yeah. And it's like, oh, she don't kind of, and then you see like, apparently there's another Soong, Noonien Soong had a son, a real life son, not just Data and lore, but actually had a real human baby who grew up and, was also played by Ren Spiner. And I'm like, yeah, okay, well, it's a little weird that, well, he was not mentioned. But oh well. Yay, we have a new soon, which is nice because he's basically working on making machines as well, like his dad was, and that's kind of cool to see that, which was done a better way. But oh well, what if he was a synthetic himself? Whatever the case is, yeah, you can do some stuff. But anyway. So they have this new Soong hanging out. He's cool, and they basically is like just hanging out as basically the leader kind of. And then there's this girl. The problem with this girl, this gold version of the twin sister, is that it's like, oh yeah, this is like, hey, it's like, wait a minute, you saw like, well, he's like, so you find out earlier that the head of security, who is like turned out to be half Romulan, half Vulcan, she did a mind meld on the doctor girl, all right, and that mind meld showed off this vision of the apocalypse, basically, and that vision of the apocalypse was so frightening that is what caused her to kill Dr. Maddox. All right, and she's like, he's like, and then the gold version of the twin sister is like, hey, you look a little scared there, girl. Is there a problem? And he's like, I don't know, just that all these people, there's so many things. I've seen so many things, so many crazy stuff. We're talking about the end of the world with them. I was like, oh, wait a minute, the end of the world? Well, why or something like that? Why don't I, hey, why don't I see what's inside your mind? I'm like, okay. I'm thinking to myself, okay, look, there are ways to figure that out. Later, you find out that they have figured out how to map the human brain, map a human mind, thought patterns, things like that. They're able to map it, go through thoughts and figure that stuff out with a machine. So I'm like, okay, maybe she has the ability to do that herself. But no, they don't really talk about that. They say, oh no, this new Soong, new member of the Soong family is just like, yeah, she taught herself the mind meld. I'm like, what? He's like, taught herself the mind meld. Yeah, she really likes Vulcan stuff. So she taught herself the mind meld. I'm like, dude. The mind meld is not something that you learn, that anybody can learn, okay? Just out of a book, okay? You have to have Vulcan physiology to know how to mind meld, okay? Because basically it's like touch empathy. That's basically what it is. You are basically, a Vulcan has the ability, when he or she makes physical contact with someone's head, to basically feel, basically make a bridge between their minds with that, just basically touch empathy, okay? You have betazoids who basically can just basically use their brain to basically look inside your brain or something like that. But then you have Vulcans have to touch your face. They have to touch your face. They have to touch your head so they can actually make a physical connection. It's not as good as betazoids, but it's definitely amazing still. It's still pretty amazing how that works. But here's the problem. You have to have Vulcan brain, okay? Spock can do it because he's part Vulcan. He's half Vulcan, That girl, the lady who's the head of security could do it because she's Vulcan. She was part Vulcan. This android can't do that because she's not a Vulcan. Now again, if they said, oh yeah, she has like she liked the mind meld so much she wanted to do it, so we put on these things on her hands so that that's basically like a neural interface. Different story, but they don't say that. I'm like, oh, super stupid. And then it's like she mind melds with her successfully, which makes no sense. And then she's like, yeah, oh yeah, that turns out that vision of the apocalypse that someone else mind melded with you to put in your mind, to put in your head. It's not a vision of the apocalypse. It's a message for synthetics. It says that, if you get enough synthetics together, you can make a nice beacon, and then use that beacon to shoot, to basically send a message to us. We will come in and we will help you. Not we will protect you. We will help you. So have better lives than ever. It's like okay, so there's an advanced race of synthetics. Of synthetic beings that want to come, that we can actually contact, and they can come out of wherever they're from and help us. Help us basically not get killed by the organics. I'm like, okay, that's kind of interesting. There was some people that were saying, oh my gosh, this is like Mass Effect. I'm like, I've never played Mass Effect. It looks pretty cool, very much like Star Trek. So I will definitely play Mass Effect. I gotta go through it. I gotta get all 3 games and just go through them. All 3, right? Yeah. The 3 that matter. So I gotta go through all 3 of the games myself, and that'll be nice to do. I'd like to do a Let's Play of that someday, and I will. But to me, it was just like, okay, that's an interesting idea. I kind of look forward to seeing what these advanced synthetics look like. We're pretty advanced. These guys are pretty advanced right here. You have synthetics that are basically like regular people, but they're synthetics. So it's like, yeah, what do they have that's even better? And then I'm like, let's see what's going on. So they start basically. It's like, oh no, basically it's like, you can't build that stuff. That stuff's bad news. That says the Romulan boyfriend, and he gets captured and by the synthetic people, and homegirl is like, oh no, and they're basically thinking, everyone, I think Picard and the others are thinking, hey, look, these new synthetics, these new creatures could be bad news for organic people. It could be bad news for anyone who's not synthetic. Who knows what they could do? Who knows what the heck could go on here? And it's like, yeah, but we want to try. We have to try because the twin sisters, like, we have to try because these organics, they're terrible. The organics, they're killing us all. They're trying to hurt us all. This, that, and the other thing. They hate us. So we got to figure this out. We got to fight. So I'm like, oh no. And Picard's like, no, come on, no, don't do that. And then of course there are Romulans the Romulan. I think the twin, the brother, he gets captured by the synthetics, and he's like, hey, no, you're gonna do that. You are totally gonna release, send a message to those things. That's bad news, okay? That's really bad news. That's what the destroyer would do, because there's this myth about how a synthetic being will destroy the universe or something, because they're basically, by calling for something, monsters from another dimension, basically. They go into great detail about some nasty stuff that could happen. I'm not going to go into that detail here, but I will say it's like, oh yeah, so he's like, well, we've heard of certain things about, I think the home dude, the brother, the evil brother, Skander Romulan dude, the Skander boyfriend, I call him Skander boyfriend. Skander boyfriend, he catches up to, he basically catches up to where the Borg cube, where his sister's hiding out. Okay, 709 and Ninja Kid are hanging out together, talking about stuff. Whoever's the survivors of the the survivors of all that crazy stuff, that's the other survivors, the XBs that are still alive, are still alive and hanging out on that Borg cube, are just hanging out, trying to do whatever they can to survive. And then it's like, the brother sneaking around. He basically sneaks around to try to figure out what's going on, find his sister, find the twisted sister. Finds the twisted sister. The twisted sister finds him, in true bad guy fashion, by coming up from behind, grabbing him with one arm, and then putting a knife to his throat with the other. And he's like, he's like, looking around like, where is he? Where is he? He's like, It's like, oh my gosh, is it you? It's like, oh, so she's like, oh crap, oh my gosh, you're alive. Oh my goodness, And I'm like, okay, she kind of cares, but she's freaking crazy still and weird. So she's like, yeah, oh, yeah, I'm alive. I was like, you're alive. I was like, yeah, I'm alive. I was like, no thanks to you. He's like, oh, whatever. So did you find the synthetics? It's like, yeah. I don't, did you do anything with any of them? I'm like, no. I'm like, not yet. Like, no, not yet. He's like, not yet. And as a joke, I'm like, yeah, that's kind of weird. Um, it is kind of a joke that I'm okay with because it's like, yeah, he totally did stuff with that girl, with the twin sister, but yeah, yeah, you could have phrased it differently. Because again, yeah, they drop f bombs, f bombs in Star Trek. Not my thing. Anyway, so she's like, yeah, let's go see. Like come over. Let's go to my place. This hidden little place in the Borg, cube. So like over there, they get to the explode. He gets explosives. And she's like, "Yeah, I want to take over this mission, and I want to do this my way." It's like, "No, no, no! I gotta finish. I gotta finish this myself. You know, I gotta finish this myself. I can totally do this. I found the one. Found both of the sisters. Oh, it was like both of them. I was like, yes, all right, yeah, they trust me. The other sister, one sister, who if the twin sister doesn't trust me anymore, but the other sister does. So yeah, I'm gonna try to worm my way in with them. So it's like, all right, fine. And so it's like, yeah, 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 you'll tell, it's like basically tell our relatives, that the outcast did it. He saved the world. I'm like, all right, so I was like, fine, whatever. So he goes off, and that would have been some really cool stuff to see as well. Again, so many missed opportunities. Anyway, he goes off. See you guys next time. Check me out on YouTube TV. Getting close to the end. I think we're near the final episode. Drinking some water. Let's try to do this. It's getting, yeah, thanks. I have my light, but yeah, definitely. I want to get down. I've probably been up here for maybe over an hour. Who knows? But whatever the case is, I want to finish this. This is very important for me to finish. So continuing on with my spoiler-filled review of Star Trek Picard. Continuing on. So, everybody's on the synth planet, the planet full of the androids. And so basically, what's going on is you have home dude decides, Scanner boyfriend decides to go over to the our hero, the Picard's cruise ship, and try to figure things out with them, talk to them. There were some good moments in here. It's like, yeah, yeah, he's like throwing rocks at the ship, at the windshield of the ship, and he's like, hey, oh my god, and then there's like they turn on, and you have like a sister soldier and the Hispanic pilot saying, go like, what the heck's he doing? Throwing rocks at the ship. Turn on the comms, and he's like, hey, and then Hispanic pilot's like, hey. Don't throw another rock. I like to see what a torpedo does to someone at this close range. He's like, I have a bag full of explosives and I'm throwing rocks. I could throw throwing explosives if you want, or we can talk. He's like, all right, fine. So they go and talk, and there's a cool moment, really cool moment where Ninja Kid catches sight of Scanner boyfriend and is like, well, yeah, he says in Romulan, yeah, what do you choose, live or die? What do you choose? Live or die, with the sword up to him. With the sword on, sword on him. And I'm like, yeah. He's like, he was like, that was one of the coolest moments. That was like one cool moment there. I was like, yeah, he's security basically. He's like, yeah, it's like, hey. He's like, well, I choose to live. I choose to live. He's like, dude, he searched him. He's on. We took his arm. He took his stuff away. We took all anything harmful he had on him. He's all good. He's like, still don't like him. And like left. And basically it's like they talk about what's going on. It's like, oh yeah, I was like, yeah. So it's like, what are you doing all this for? It's like to stop the Armageddon. It's like stop Armageddon. He's like, oh, Romulan. Then like the sister soldier's like, oh, we've heard a bit about Romulan Armageddon. It's like, oh, so you've heard about how the sisters are going to play their instruments to summon these demons, these monsters, these demons, and then they're going to come out and just slaughter billions and basically water the ground with their blood and just like all kinds of nasty stuff. And it's like, no, he didn't know it was like that. It's like, I didn't. know it like that, know about that stuff like that. Though it's like, yeah, and it's just like super nasty, crazy stuff. And I'm like, thanks for that, dude. But it's like, yeah. So he's like, yeah, we didn't know it was gonna be like that, but we kind of figured it's going to be pretty bad. Yeah, didn't really know those exact words. Like, yeah, it's pretty bad. So I want to stop that too. I want to stop that as well. This is, come on, let's work together. It's like, how are we going to get in there? It's like, oh, you can take me back. I was a prisoner and I was able to escape. So if I go back, then we'll figure this out. I'm like, okay, cool. So they go back, and it turns out there was a thing. Um, basically he escaped. All right, but there was like interesting thing. There's the golden version of the twin sister lowered the force field, and she's like, "Hey, let me help you escape." And then later you see what an android that was this female android that was guarding this dude has been stabbed, has been killed basically, has been totally killed. And they basically gold version, the gold girl blames Scanner boyfriend for it. Later, soon, and so they're like, oh my gosh, we have to fight against these guys. These guys are this dude's terrible. We gotta fight against them. Let's build the thing. Let's do this stuff. Let's go. So they start building the antenna. Uh, they try to get the guy back in, and he's like, "Oh, hey, put up, take all, get rid of your weapons, get rid of your, give me your weapons, give me your equipment." And it was like, "All right, cool." And it's like, and earlier you saw them playing soccer, saw some of them playing soccer, all right, game of soccer with each other. So then you see home dude has a ball with him, okay, and he's like, "Oh, so you play, huh?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, I like to play." He's like kicks the ball around. I was like, "So yeah, oh, thanks. Oh yeah, I'm gonna go play. Me and some guys are gonna go play later after you give this guy back to you. Get this guy back into jail." I was like, "All right, cool." And then they go past. That ball, of course, has the explosives they need to destroy that stuff in it. So it's like, okay, they go in there, and you have two things that are weird. Okay, because Picard's like, no, don't. So what's in the last episode was like, do not do this thing. Do not, call these weird things. You don't know what they're going to do. They could do some bad stuff. The Romulans things are going to destroy everything, so they're going to try to destroy you. You got to stop this. Okay? Don't summon those guys. Don't call those guys. Don't call those guys. But he's like, nah. She's like, no, I'm gonna call him because we need some help against these bad guys. You ever said there are bad guys coming? The bad guys already here. We gotta figure this out. So they're gonna go. So they basically are going to go handle this biz. Gonna go. Basically everybody's gathered in front. Everybody, I believe, they took Picard away. Basically, you confined him in the quarters. Mr. Sung, he is hanging out, examining the android, female android that got killed. All right. Stabbed by her own like brooch or necklace or something. There was like a sharp piece on that necklace that was used to stab her. And so it's like oh my gosh, so he's like all sad that she got killed. And basically it's like, and then you have the doctor who's like, yeah. And you have the doctor girl who killed Maddox. And she's like, he's like, yeah. He's like going like, well, thanks for, helping out, I guess. It's a shame I heard about Maddox. So it's a shame about him dying. But yeah, that's cool that, see about him dying, but it's cool that you're still helping. Yeah, And she's because like, oh, you're kind of like their mom, I guess. If he was their dad, you're kind of like their mom, I guess. And he's like, leaves. You see her with this very stony expression, like she's barely holding it together. I'm like, oh, shoot, girl, don't do it. Don't snap. Don't snap. She's like, I can do this. I'm not their mother. Blankety blank. I'm like, oh, no. Something bad gonna happen, isn't it? Because this girl, who knows about this girl? So then, everybody's trying to build this stuff, do this thing. Homegirl decides to free Picard. All right. No, basically, no, the twin sister goes to see Picard. There's a retinal scanner that leads to the room. So she uses her. She basically looks in it and gets her eye scanned, and the door opens, so she's able to go in. She's like, please, you got to do this. Like, come on, try to see this from our point of view. They're trying to destroy us. He's like, no, well, yeah, but you're doing something that they think is going to destroy them. You got to stop this. And she's like, no, I have no choice. Bye. And leaves. And he's like, dang it, this is terrible. So, oh yeah, also yeah. So yeah, I'll talk about that later. So he is like he's just hanging out, and then the doctor, of course, seems to be allowed to walk around without any chaperones at all or anything. Oh yeah, yeah. She's like, yeah, I think it distracts Noonien, distracts Doctor Soong by saying, yeah, they need help with, some guys need help with something over in this other place, it's like, or like something like that. He's like, okay, cool. It was like, or with the antenna, with the beacon, they need help with that thing. It's like, okay, cool. I'll go help out with the beacon. And so he goes over to help out with the beacon, and then homegirl looks over to the dead female android, and then walks over to her, and then you hear this sound that's like she's digging into her. And then it's like, ugh, like what the heck is she doing? And then you come, basically then later you see her with like the android's eyeball scanning it, and it's I'm like, ew. Yes, she's dead. Jeez, jeez, girl, that's nasty. Scanning, using it for the retinal scanner. And I'm like, that's gross. Oh man, what's wrong with this girl? What's wrong with this? So then after that, she gets Picard out. They escape, and they get over to where the ship is. Okay, and try to fly it up. All right. While they're trying to fly up to go and try to confront the Romulans that are basically warping into, that are finally have gotten there, warping into the orbit of the planet. He's like, he's basically trying to figure out how to fly this thing. It's really interesting. It's kind of cool because like this episode kind of is cool because there's different things going on where it's like, hey, Picard's definitely hasn't flown a starship in a long time. The last one he flew used control panel. This is like hologram technology. So he's like, going like, how does this work? Wait, okay, like this, like that. I'm like, that was kind of fun. That was kind of fun. And then she's like, her and him and the doctor girl who killed Maddox are on the ship trying to buy time for the to try to buy time to just delay the Romulans, so that homegirl, that the twin sister will basically choose not to will have time to choose not to use the beacon, and also to of course allow the others to try and destroy the beacon, right? So what happened is, after basically coming back, Dr. Soong sees what happened to the dead female android. Turns out that Golden Girl, surprise, surprise, is the one that killed her. And you see a scanner boyfriend standing there, and then she's like, you see scanner boyfriend standing there, and also and you see homegirl stab her, pick up the thing and pick up grab that thing off her necklace and stab her with it, and I'm like, yeah. Okay, that's kind of interesting how that goes. So then it's like, yeah, I kind of, well, there you go. I guess that can happen. I'm guessing. So anyway, it's like, yeah, you didn't kill that one. You tried to kill another one, but you didn't kill that one. That's nice. It's nice. Anyway, so I'm like, yeah, no, I still don't feel sorry enough for you to be like, oh, all is forgiven. Nope, dude, sorry. But anyway, so then he's like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. He joins Sister Soldier, the Hispanic pilot, Ninja Boy, and Ninja Boy and right, and Ninja Boy. That's it, and Ninja Boy to try and help stop the beacon. So yeah, all the androids gathered in one place, waiting for this beacon to work. You have the twin sister building the beacon, basically using, working on the beacon, making the beacon ready, getting it ready, using nanotechnology to build the beacon. And you have the Golden Girl, hanging out, doing the speeches and saying, "Yes, soon we will. The new advanced race will come and help us fight against these evil organics that that are trying to kill us all." And then it's like, okay, Soong's like, hey, let's talk. Golden Girl, let's talk. So they go to some place a little quieter, and I'm like, okay, this could go really bad for Dr. Soong because he's a human. She could easily kill him. So I was like, what's going on? So it's like, okay, he's like, hey, I just wanted to give this back to you. It's like it's the piece that she used to stab the female android to death. He's like, thanks, like thanks, Dr. Soong. He's like, yeah. Because I kind of understand why you did that. You wanted the androids to rally behind you, to have a, call, to realize and to see that these, these organics are horribly bad and evil, and your way is the best way. It's like, yes, yes. I'm glad. It's good that you know about that. It's like, yes. Thought I told you, yes, but still, kill one of your own for this terrible thing. It was a terrible thing. I thought I taught you better than that. And then he like pulls out some type of device and presses it, and she's like, oh, falls over. And I'm like, yeah, okay, that's cool. Good thing you were far enough away from her that she couldn't grab you, stop you from doing that. So I'm like, yeah, it's like, oh, poor thing, and walks away. I'm like, yeah, that's what you get. Yeah, yeah, you go, dude. You go, dude. That girl crazy. So I was like, yeah, yeah. So then after that happens, we get oh, I'm enjoying something. That's good. Anyway, after that, we get several moments of just pure awesomeness. Okay, this is when the episode gets good. This is like the last episode of the season. All right, you have Picard hanging and the doctor who killed Maddox. Okay, hanging out on this ship. All right, facing down like 200 Romulan warbirds, and the big old capital ship. And I'm like, oh, heck yes. Now, this is cool. What are you gonna do? How are you gonna fight all these ships? You'll be destroyed. It's like you're gonna get destroyed if you don't do something, guys. What are you gonna do? And then it's like, hey, here come the orchids. Maybe they can. Let's see how much they help. And I'm like, oh my gosh, you're seeing all these things slowly come out of off. They say that that's their orbital defenses. You see those things slowly come come off up out of the ground and fly into space, and then start trying to grab onto the Romulan ships. And they're like shoot them, start shooting them. Like target those things, start shooting them and stuff. And it's like yeah, yeah, it's like super fighting. Have like a card ship having to dodge everything, get out the way. It's like it was super cool to see that. Well. No, I'll come back next time. I'll see you guys next time. Check me out on YouTube and art. We finished up. This should hopefully be the last video. But the cool thing is what I'm going to do is, of course, I'm going to basically record the sound off of these and basically then just put it on top of something else. Because that's cool. I can totally do that. And it'll be definitely more exciting than just watching me talk. Let's continue on. Anyway, I'll talk about Captain on the Star Trek Picard spoilers. Final episode, final battle. This is when in my opinion, really, really gets good. Like this is some of the best stuff I've ever seen. Okay, this is basically some of the best stuff I've ever seen in Star Trek ever. Okay, basically this is the best of it all in my opinion. So yeah, that Picard, the orchids have come up. The giant ship devouring orchids come up from the planet and started, trying to devour the ships and the Romulan ships, and Picard's trying to dodge them. The Romulan ships are shooting at those things. Picard's trying to dodge them, move out the way, dodge all these blasts and move out the way. And it's like, oh my gosh, and then the doctor that killed Maddox, she's like, oh my gosh, well, what do you, I was like, look out, they do all this stuff. And then finally it gets to the point where those orchids finally are destroyed, and they basically fall out of view, and they're basically useless. And he's like, yeah, the orbital defenses are destroyed. He's like, all right. And then you have homegirl, the leader of Starfleet security, basically as the commander of the mission, the Romulan commander of that mission. And she's like, yeah. All right, prepare to target the planet. All of a sudden it's like, what are we gonna do? She's like, what are we gonna do? And then the girl that killed Dr. Maddox is like, what are we gonna do? He's like, how are you gonna survive this? The only I was like, I don't know. It's like Picard's like, I don't know. It's like, wait, it's like if you survive this, you gotta figure something. If it works, then they'll make name it after you, like the Picard maneuver. Wait, that's actually a thing, isn't it? Like, okay, that was a bit clunky. But I like the idea. I like where this is going. I was thinking to myself, it was a bit clunky, but I like where you're going with it. What's going on here? I was thinking to myself, what are you gonna do? What do you have in mind? And she's like, yeah. If only there was some way for us to, it's like, do this stuff. You made, the Enterprise appear in two places at once. It was like actually it was a Stargazer. That was a long time ago, and it was only like, won't work with this many ships. It'd have to be like a lot of stuff. It won't work with this many ships. I was like, it won't work with this many ships. Unless you have some way to figure multiply the effect by an insane factor. And he's like, oh well. He's like, what if you use what is this thing? They're like, here's a problem with this thing. The device they use is this annoying device that basically it's like, okay, that an android girl, probably the one that was killed, said, hey, here's the device that can fix things. If she had just left it at that, I'd be like, okay. I would have been like, okay, yes, they have nanotechnology. Okay, they have nanotechnology that you can use that to fix your ship, because later they do use it to fix their ship. But here's the deal: the crew used it to Picard's crew used it to fix the ship. But here's the deal: they had the technology, but it was like they basically she said, use your imagination. It's like well, how do I use this thing? He's like, oh, well, you gotta use your imagination. I'm like, what? Just it's not cool. I don't like it. I don't like that's vague. That's really super vague. Because if you use your imagination, all kinds of crap can happen. That would be really crazy. Because it'd be like, okay, well, it's like, oh, if you're thinking to yourself, oh man, it's like, man, it's like, I'd rather get, oh no, I gotta fix this while holding this thing. I'd rather have to fight like someone such beast. It's like, oh, soul such beast it makes a soul such beast appear like, no, that's a bad thing. I would not like a thing like that. It would be really crazy. So yeah, that was to me was a bit of a huge issue, and it's basically it's a MacGuffin. That's what they call it, a MacGuffin. Something that's basically like, oh yeah, this will work for this to solve this problem, because we said so. So it's like, yeah, the thing because they use their imagination, fixed the ship. And I'm like, yeah, I could chalk it up to nanotechnology, but then it's like, use your imagination. You were able to make copies of your face, your smiling, murdering face. It's not funny. No. You killed Dr. Maddox. You deprived him of oxygen and he died. So like, no, I'm not a big fan of yours. No. So then she's like, hey, we could make images, copies with this somehow. Oh my god, just like, oh, okay, make copies with it. He's like, oh yeah, and you'll make sure that every one of them has a warp signature. I'm like, how? It just does. It just happens. Okay. It just happens. You have a warp signature. Somehow. It has a warp signature. The holograms have a warp signature. Nice. So it's like, yeah. So then it's like you see thousands, hundreds of those cute little generic ships from Destiny. Destiny or No Man's Sky, and that's the way the ship looks. It looks like a design for Destiny or No Man's Sky. Appear around in front of the Romulan fleet, and it's like, there are hundreds, sir. It's like, man, mistress, there are hundreds of them. What do we do? It's like, she's like, fire at them, destroy them. It's like, yeah. So it's like, ah. So it's like, oh my gosh. They're like dodging everything, and it works for a little bit, but then they get hit by one of the blasts, and that stops the hologram. And I'm like, oh, that stops the holograms, So it's like, oh no. I'm back. Like, oh, that we're in trouble. But thankfully, Homegirl sees this. The twin sister sees this stuff. The twin sister sees that stuff, and it's like, oh my gosh, Picard! Oh no! It's like, oh yeah, and he's like, look, it's like, he regains his stuff, and he's like, turns on his hail, and it's like, look, I'm gonna give you something. Basically, he said before, I'm gonna show these people that we're not all bad. Show these people, basically, teach people a lesson, life, about human life, about humanity. They're not all bad, people aren't all bad, basically, yes. It's like, it says to her, I'm going to give you something important, it's like something that, something that I've always, that basically, it's the best gift I can give you right now. She's like, what is it? And he's like, my life. And I'm like, oh, heck yes. Heck yes. He's like, oh, yeah, he's going to risk his life to stop her from using that machine. You know, he's going to take on these guys all by himself. You know, he's out of ideas. You know, he's going to do it. He's like, so he's going to, stand in the way of these guys again. You know, so he goes to stand in the way of the guys. And then Federation ships start warping in, and it's like soon there's like a huge armada of those guys looking super cool, like Star Trek, kind of look like Star Trek Insurrection, you know, very sleek, the sleek new Enterprise looking guys, you know, Enterprise E looking dudes. I'm like, oh heck yes, so many cool ships just warp in, and it's just like yeah, and then all of a sudden you just like look at that, and then it's like the screen comes on, and it's Riker, Riker, basically going yeah, you know, like it's like this is Commander Riker of whatever the name of the ship is. You know, she's like, oh, you know, planet is under Federation protection. You know, withdraw now or else. She's like, no, we've laid claim to this planet. You know, she's like, no, that won't work. We've laid claim to this planet first. It's like, oh yeah, you know, here's the a request right here for a Federation treaty. You know, given to us a few days ago. You know, it's like Picard saying, hey, yeah, guys, I need help. I want to request that this planet join the Federation, you know, open diplomatic processes with the Federation, you know, things like that. So it's like, yeah, their claim, you know, he has laid claim to the planet before the Romulans got there to lay claim to the planet. So it's like, yeah, you know, we got you politically. And she's like, all right, fine. Well, you know, she's like, we're gonna fight you then. And it's like, oh, he's like, Miss, I am, you know, Commodore, Commander, you know, whatever your name is. Whoever you really are, you know, says Riker, like, whoever you really are, you know, I am, you know, on one of the toughest and strongest, fastest ships that the Federation has ever made, and I have a whole bunch of the other ones right behind me. It would give me, you know, great pleasure. So, you know, it would give me great pleasure if you would give me an excuse to fire. I was like, all right, prepare to fire. She's like, all right then, prepare to fire on these guys. Yeah, yeah. And then like, all of a sudden, homegirls, you know, then Picard's like, okay, look, you know, okay, here's another issue, another thing that basically was foreshadowed a few times. Picard has brain damage of some kind. Okay, he has some sort of degenerative brain disease or something. Okay, that was in All Good Things. All right, Ironic syndrome and all that crap. You know, but in this one, it's worse. Okay, they're saying that it's only a matter of time before you die. Okay, or some bullcrap. So I'm like, you know, when he's going like, you know, he's like starting to hold his head. He's like, dude, I'm like, okay, you know, it's happening. Get it now. He's like, quick, give me this medicine. He says to the doctor who killed Maddox. She's like, but that could hurt you more. He's like, no, he's only delaying the inevitable. He's like, all right, here. So it gives him the thing, and it helps him focus long enough for him to open a channel. He's like, listen, all right. You know, homegirl, like a twin sister, you have to stop, you know, trying to summon these creatures, you know, all right? Prove to them that these little Romulans, that you're not the destroyer, you know. It basically simulcast to her, to Riker, and to the Romulan ship, command ship, and he's like, prove to them that you're not who you say you are, you know. If they don't believe you, then they'll have to answer to the Federation. You know, like, they'll fight you. They'll protect you now. It's like, well, you wanted to destroy the Federation, banned us androids. They wanted to destroy us all. It's like, no. If we wanted to destroy us all, they wanted to destroy you all, then we'd be joining up with the Romulans to destroy, you know, fight you, to blast you right now. But we're not. We're trying to defend you. You know, it's like, listen, I saved your life. I saved your life. Because you know, and even though after hearing what you could happen to you, what you could be, what you are compared to, you know, what the Romulans think you are, because I want you to make a better choice. I want you to save ours. He's like, please. Here's, you know, that was in basically the transmission opens a portal or some crap, and okay, here's the deal. These tentacles start coming out. Okay, these robot tentacles start coming out. I just saw the Matrix Revolutions a little while ago, so I was like going, what? So that's opening a portal to Sentinels, man. Some weird Sentinels. Like, okay, that could be interesting, you know. But she's like, oh crap, you know. I was like, please, Yeah, but he's like, Picard's like, please don't let them, don't let them come out, don't let them do that. And then I'm like, okay, she's like, he's like, come on, please do it for me. And he's like, okay, okay, yeah, bring out party power. That's fine, we're getting there, we're getting there. He's like, please. He's like, and she's like, ugh. All right, and he like smashes the panel. That just stops, just kills all the power to the beacon, and that closes up the portal. And the tentacles go back in and get sucked back in. I'm like, oh yeah, and it closes. I'm like, oh well, bye guys. I kind of was interested to see what you look like, and you do look kind of interesting, but kind of generic, but still counts as horrible things you don't want to get out. So yeah, and I'm like yes, and then it's like. There's this huge armada. It's two huge armadas of ships, and Picard in the middle, and it's just like, yeah, just like, ah, and then the Romulans are like, oh my gosh, they hear, see, the homegirl hears, the commander hears that the beacon has been destroyed, and I'm like, and she's like, ah, fine, stand down, weapons. He's like, oh, all right, so he's like, okay, she did it. She could have summoned them. She was about to, but she stopped. That's not what the destroyer would do. So yeah, okay, that's Star Trek. That is Star Trek. All right. So it's like yes, and then they send out weapons because it's like yeah, okay, she proved us wrong. She's not the destroyer. So all right, it's like yeah, they powered out weapons. He's like, let us escort you to out of Federation space. Then says Riker. He's like, that will not be necessary. It's like oh, he insists. But then they warp out and leave the Federation alone. It's like all right, all right. He's like all right, all right. He's like I was like well, there they go. And he's like yeah, and all the Romulans warp out and they're gone. So he's like yeah, yeah, oh yeah, yeah. So also what's going on is you have while all this stuff is happening, the Twisted Sister is trying to target. I'm gonna go a little longer. The Twisted Sister is trying to target Picard's ship. All right, she's trying to target it so that she can blast it out of the sky with Borg Borg weapons. But thankfully, 709 is able to tackle her and fight her, and eventually is able to throw her off the cliff, and throw her off an edge of a balcony or something. After saying, "This is for you," like throws her off in there. He's like, "Ah!" And she falls away, and she dies. And I'm like, "Yeah, thank you." Yeah, it was actually not a bad death scene for that girl because she was crazy and trying to kill everybody. So yay, that's what you get. Thank you, thank you. So yeah, so then Hugh, yeah, basically, while and okay, or it's also on the ground while everybody's fighting up in the air. Picard and the doctor who killed Maddox are flying around up in the air trying to stay alive. You have the Ninja Kid, Scanner boyfriend, Hispanic co-pilot, and Sister Soldier all trying to fight against these androids, trying to stop them from trying to stop them from causing problems. They tried to throw the bomb that's inside the soccer ball at the control panel, but the twin sister catches it, throws it away, and it blows up harmlessly. It detonates harmlessly, so it's like, ah, dang, we didn't go, we failed. But then then they were able to win later. So it's like, yeah, okay, cool, and okay, I'll be back. See you next time. Continuing on with this thing. Yeah, we're gonna just record all these things. So we're great. Anyway, so we're back. Basically, the Romulans have left. Picard is talking to Will, and Will's like, "Yeah." I was like, "Oh, like, hey, your thing is like, oh, thanks for your help." Like Picard talks to Will. He's like, "Thanks for your help." Well, number one, it's like, or something like that. It's like, he's like, "You're welcome, sir." It's like, what do you think? I was gonna stay, hang out and make pizza while you have all the fun. It's like, yeah, I'll make pizza while you have all the fun. Oh, no way. It's like, yeah. So I pulled a few strings, and yeah, here we are. It's like, here we are. It's like, you need anywhere to help? It's like, no, this is good. The situation is taken care of. It's like, all right, then I'll leave it to you. I'll see you around, old friend. Then they warp out and they leave. And I'm like, okay, that's kind of cool. But maybe they could have hung out a little bit longer, make sure everything was okay. And, yeah. But then it's like one of the best moments. Those are pretty awesome moments in Star Trek. To me, those other moments, that battle the standoff, the battle, the resolution. Those were very nice moments in Star Trek history, in my opinion. Some of the best moments in Star Trek history. But then comes the best. All right, that basically is put on top of these other moments. You have the Armada, you have these Armadas, you have Picard and the Doctor that killed Dr. Maddox, and trying to stall the Romulans, overwhelming odds. Then the Federation comes in and helps out, and basically a homegirl, Picard's able to reach homegirl, twin sister, to help her back down, not release these horrible monsters onto the galaxy. That's great. But then, after doing that, Picard is just hanging out. Basically it's like, yes, he's hanging out, and then also he's like, falls out of his chair, tries to get up, but then falls out of his chair, and then the doctor that killed Maddox, she just grabs him and puts him, helps him get on the ground, lay on the ground, and he's like, Dad, and I'm like, oh my gosh, is this really happening? I was thinking, oh my gosh, is this really happening? Did he just use his last bit of strength to do this? Is this the end? And he's like, what's happening? And then I think homegirl, the twin sister, saw this, and she's like, saw him fall out of his chair and stuff, start falling out of his chair, and she's like, what? It's like, oh my gosh, what's going on? He's like, oh no, something's wrong with his brain, his condition. We gotta do something. And it's like, oh, can you get into the medical bay? Maybe try to heal him. And it's like, there's no point, is there, doctor? And he's like, no. And I'm like, oh no. So I'll beam you down. So then she's like, I'll beam you down. No, I'll beam you down. So the sister's like, I'll beam you down. So beams her down. So I'm like, yeah, okay, beam her down. Beam her over there. His crew gather around him, and he's like, yeah. It's like, what? It's like they're basically hanging out, he's giving out their last words, talking, saying, this is, like, we did this. So we did it. It's finally done. This is like, oh my gosh. And it's like, yes. It's like, you're right. All right. This is some crazy stuff. So everybody's just all looking at him all sad and everything. And then he totally dies. Picard dies. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I'm like, this. My cat is scratching out the door when he come back. So I'll get over there eventually, but I gotta do this right now. This moment is one of the best things ever. It's in Star Trek history. This is the passing of a legendary captain. This here, he's done a mission. He's survived. He's fought so hard and survived this mission and did this cool stuff. And now he fades into legend. He passes into legend. His work complete. He passes into legend, and it's like, yeah, everybody's mourning him, and it's all sad. I'm like, yes, you're finally doing it right. Yes, this is the last episode of the season, but you did it right. Finally, this is the right way to do it. This is how you send off someone so amazing. And then they mess it up. Okay? It starts off pretty subtly. After he dies, you have a scene where it's like 7 of 9 and the Hispanic co-pilot and Hispanic pilot hanging out together, saying, man, that was crazy stuff, we're really sad now, basically, oh my gosh, talking about some cool stuff, talking about how it's like, man, I promise I would never do this again, they're talking about two different things, like, neither did I, so we're talking about two different things, and it's like, man, and they're all sad, and I'm like, okay, they're all sad. Then you see Sister Soldier with the ninja kid, and then they just break down crying and hugging each other and just crying. And they're like, yes, it's sad to see him go, but he's gone. He's all gone. He's just a human after all. He's 90 something years old, and terrible condition, and there was something messing up inside his brain, and whatever, gave his last ounce of strength to save the galaxy, save everyone, including the Romulans, who were trying to kill everybody, including him. So I'm like, yeah, what a legend. Then you see the captain hang out in this weird looking room with Data, all right, and they're talking about stuff, and it's like, yeah, I'm thinking, okay, maybe this is some sort of purgatory or something. It's like this is like his last thoughts. He's going into the afterlife, and he's talking to Data because this is his memories of Data, and it's like, yes, well, yeah, this is a simulation, Captain. I'm like, what? He's like, a complex simulation. I'm like, that's a little weird. He's like, yes, yes. I've been here. I remember when I died, a while ago, I was protecting your life. Do you regret protecting, dying for these other people? It's like, no, no. Why would I used to think I should protect you? I think you should care. I died protecting yours. I mean, your life. And it's like, okay. And I was like, yeah, that's true. It's like, well, when you leave, Captain, please, I have a request to make. It's like, wait, when I leave, what are you talking about? It's like, oh, yes, your thought patterns have been grafted onto a new shell. I've been grafted into a new brain. I'm like, what? He's like, yes, the thought patterns have been grafted onto a new shell, new brain and stuff. So you must leave. Yes, and go in there. But can you do something for me when you leave? After you leave, it's like, what's that? It's like, I would like you to terminate my program. I was like, what do you mean? It's like, terminate my consciousness. I'm like, freaking what? He's like, oh yes, my consciousness. So like, why would you want to do that? You want to die? He's like, no, not necessarily die, but you know that my life is finite. Basically a butterfly that is. He does want to talk about how say something. It's like a butterfly that is immortal. It's not really a butterfly at all, is it? I'm like, you are not seriously having a conversation about immortality being bad while talking about that Captain Picard maybe getting a new brain. You're not seriously doing this. They are seriously doing this. So Picard walks through a door with light streaming from it. He says, yeah, I'll do it. I'll do it for you. It's like, thank you, Captain. Picard streams, goodbye. It's a goodbye, Captain. It was like, goodbye, Data. Like, Picard walks through a door that has light pouring out of it. And then he closes. Then basically he opens his eyes. And he's inside some sort of like glass casing or something. Apparently they had a android body with some sort of brain in it that they could use to transfer stuff from one person's body to another or something. They foreshadowed this, and I was like, going, why are you foreshadowing? What is this thing? It's like all the things you need to do to transfer consciousness, transfer, mind, transfer a mind is in there. And he's like, okay, transferring a mind. He's transferring his mind. Somehow, I guess there's something going on where they're going to transfer someone's mind into something, whatever. Not like it has anything to do with us. Apparently it does. And Picard's like, yeah. I'm like, wow. What can you tell me about this new body I'm living in? He's like, oh, well, it's, and I'm like, hey, so you've basically ruined one of the greatest moments, in my opinion, in all of Star Trek history. You basically did a thing where it was like, yeah, this thing happened, and it's amazing, it's awesome, it's crazy, it's wonderful. You know, it's like I'm taking it back. We take it back. Take it back. Yeah, it didn't happen. We're gonna pretend like it never happened because we want to. Yeah, you know, who cares if it's legendary? Who cares if it's how it should be? You know, who cares? Screw you, basically. Yeah, yeah. I'm like, oh. You know, like, what'd you say? You know, that's something like, you know, I'm like, so yeah. Then it's like he says he's told that the body he's now living in is a robot, is an android body, well, basically a synthetic body, but it's just like his real body. You know, it's not doesn't have any special powers or anything. You know, it's just like that. And he's like, wait a minute, I'm not immortal, am I? I'm like, ugh. You losers. He's like, oh no, no, says the doctor that killed Maddox. No, we put like a program in there that'll basically you know, kill you, basically. And only it'll kill you after a few years. You know, it'll terminate you. It will kill you basically after you know, the normal amount of time that you would have probably lived if you didn't have that problem with your brain. You know, I was like, oh well, I wouldn't mind a few more years, you know, 10, 20, something like that. I'm like, you losers. Yes, finishing up with Star Trek Picard and its horrible, horrible ending. Oh, boy, does that ending suck. Let's continue on. All right, where was the last thing? I need to rush. Yeah, kind of getting yellow there. Yeah, actually, I feel that. Oh. Interesting. Anyway, so Picard is now in a robot body, in an android, in a basically a synthetic body. But then they say he's this body is not um it's a body that is looks and acts just like his normal body, right? And I'm looking at that like, you know, there's nothing about it that makes it different than his normal body. I'm like, okay, yes, this is really stupid because first of all, the whole situation of him being alive after his awesome sacrifice, which basically makes the sacrifice null and void. And they're just like, oh yeah, the thing he gave you is just like your regular body. There's no, you don't even get any superpowers or anything. I'm like, why? You know, didn't you give us that? No. Uh, so it's like, it's really stupid there. And it's like, wait, yeah, again. And then it's like, you didn't make me, you know, Picard's like, you didn't make me immortal, did I? Like, I was like, yeah, yeah, they did. You died. You're supposed to be dead. I'm like, ugh. You know, he's like, oh, no, no. You know, says the doctor that killed Maddox. That's how she's always going to be known from now on, as the doctor that killed Maddox. Okay. Yeah. And that sucks. But anyway, she's like, I'm like, no, she's like, oh, no, no. You know, you basically have a we put a program in your body that will basically shut it down, you know, effectively kill you in the few amount of years we think you'd normally have if you didn't have that you know, problem with your brain, you know, the Ironic syndrome or whatever the heck it is, you know. And he's like, oh, I wouldn't mind a few more years, you know, 10 or 20, that'd be fun. I'm like, you know, you're supposed to be dead. You're supposed to be dead. Okay, that's how it's supposed to be. So it's really stupid there. And then it's like, it's even stupider because then it's like, okay, yay, everything's fine now. See ya. So then you basically see the doctor that killed Maddox hanging out with the pilot. And I'll say, here's the deal. Everyone knows that she killed Maddox, or everyone, and yet the pilot's like, "Yeah, I got no problem with it. You know, no problem with hanging out with her, you know, being next to me, you know, putting her hand on my shoulder. Yeah, no problem at all." I'm like, stupid. And then it's like 709 and Sister Soldier, um, the woman that keeps calling John Luke JL. Uh, to many people in Nine's, anger and hate and dismay, uh, are hanging out, sharing a drink, and I'm like, okay, they're friends. I don't know if they even really met before. How can they be friends? I would have liked to have seen that, seen them meet and hang out and become friends. That'd be great. Then they like interlace their fingers. They basically are decide to hold each other's hand. They put their hands together. Hold each other's hands and interlace their fingers, and it's like, what? Okay, this makes it even weirder. We don't even, we don't even know if they met before. What the heck's going on here? That was really weird. That's really weird. That it's like, oh yeah, are we a couple? Are we friends? Are we a couple? I don't know if they even met. So it was really weird that was stupid. Then it's like you see Ninja Kid in the background, like he usually is, going like, "Yeah, I'm still here." I'm like, "Yeah, that's nice, Ninja Kid. That's nice." Yeah. Well, they give you like a bokin or a bow staff or something, then you could have, or yeah, bokin or something, because you apparently weren't trying to kill those androids, which apparently we're not trying to kill those androids, which is interesting. Though you can fight hand to hand, which is great. If you'd ever get your sword knocked out of your hand or whatever, but still, I'm like, there were times when it was like I think with against Sister Soldier, against not Sister Soldier, the Twisted Sister, uh, she basically was like that where I think she fought him like once in the whole season, and it's like, yeah, that dude crazy, it's like, and she's like, oh no, hey, come on, let's fight hand to hand, forget these blades, let's fight hand to hand, and dude listened to her or something, because she's like, that's not how can't the whatever don't you guys fight only fight with swords, if there's if there like that's not how you should fight with me. I don't have a sword. Just like, okay, let's go hand to hand. I'm like, you sure? Kid, you sure about that? Against this girl? They go crazy. So yeah, she was not unarmed. So yeah, that did not work out so well. So like, yeah, she threw that knife and killed you with it. It's not cool. Anyway, so he's in the background, unfortunately as usual, and it sucked. And then I think the Romulan dude, Skander boyfriend, I think he was off doing whatever he was doing. I don't know if he joined the crew, and I'm pretty sure it would not go well. Pretty sure because yeah, it shouldn't go well because of all the horrible things that happened between him and the twin sister. So yeah, I don't think I saw him. I have to look again. I'm replaying the last episode of Star Trek Picard, because it's so awesome. Okay. Anyway, though, so then you see Picard hanging out with the twin sister on the bridge of the ship, and he's like, hey, this is a little weird. Why are you spent your whole life? You spent a long time trying to find your home, and now you found it. Now you're leaving. Now you're leaving. It's like, well, she's like, well, turns out I like my home. I love my people, but I think I'm more suited to wandering. To traveling. And now with the android ban lifted, I can travel now. With the synth ban lifted, I can totally travel now. And then Picard's like, yeah, so can I. I'm like, oh, and I'm like, that's not funny. That's not cool. It's not cool at all. You should be dead. You should be dead. It is like, I think that's about it. And then like, basically they go out, you see the shelf go to warp and leave, and I'm like, yeah, please be over. Easy over thing. Don't do anymore. It's because boy, that series was rough. There was just so many problems with it. It could have been, there was a lot of good stuff. There was some good stuff in it, There's stuff in it, Picard coming back, and the power couple he was living with, and the intrigue of who in the world Dodgy, the sisters are, and dealing with all this stuff, meeting new people that were mostly okay, kind of mostly okay, and then of course that awesome ending, the Borg cube and Hugh and 709, and stuff like that. It was great. It was great to see them, doing their stuff. It was great to see them all, doing their things. It was great to see them Riker and Troy and their daughter, and just so many cool things in there. It was great. It was great to see that, and that ending, the last episode. Ninja Kid, I really wish there was more of a reason to have Ninja Kid, to basically have gone to pick up Ninja Kid. Say they needed to stop by some place for supplies, then they'll be like, "Oh, we gotta stop at this place for supplies. This is the closest planet. While I'm here, I'm going to check out these Romulan settlers." And there you go. Hey kid, it's me. I'm back after all these years. There you go. That would have worked a lot better. But then it's just like, no, I just gotta stop. We're on the clock, but I gotta stop because I gotta check on this. Check on this thing. Gotta check on these guys and try to get the Ninja Kid. So I'm like, that was basically really not cool. Not the best way to do that. The disguise thing made more sense because you're trying to get Maddox so that you can then find out where the girl is. So I was like, yeah, you have to do that first. But no, you did not have to do the Romulan. You go to the Romulan place first at all. You didn't have to go there at all. You could just be like, nope, I'm out. No, we're not going there. Unless it was for supplies. It would make sense for supplies. So they didn't do it that way. So it really sucked. Then there was just so many things. There were some good things in there though. Ninja Kid's cool. I would have liked some more time with that angry Romulan thug with the cutlass. Maybe have him join the crew too. Shoot, they could be at odds. It's like, they got a sword fight. Shoot, give him a cutlass. Give Ninja Kid a cutlass. So then it's like, I have a cutlass. On guard. Geez, you could change that. You'd have a cutlass and just be like, go on, on guard, just like Picard taught me. Come on. So many different ways that could have gone. But anyway, so you have some good stuff, the good stuff in there, mostly peppered in there, but not as much in there as it should be. You have a bunch of bad stuff in there. Each has death, Hugh's death. Just all these stupid things, all this crap, going places you didn't need to go, doing things you didn't do. Maddox's death. Just so many problems, so many issues, so many things that were just like, what the heck? Why is this in here? The reason for Picard leaving is that he just left. Why couldn't he have just not left unless he was forced to leave? Different story. If he was forced to leave, it would be like, yeah, I was forced to leave. There's nothing I could do, but he left of his own accord, so it looked like he was being a jerk. So it's really stupid. Then, and then it's like, yeah, the Borg stuff was pretty good, except for, a lot of them died. A few of them died. I don't know, the ones that were blown out, sucked or blown out of the air of the Borg cube may have lived, because you Borg can survive in vacuum space. As long as they don't burn up an atmosphere, or get sucked into fall into a star or something. As long as they're cool, then they're cool. But yeah, I don't know. So they may have survived. But still, it was just that. It was actually not bad. The Borg stuff was not bad because, of course, you have people we cared about doing the Borg stuff. The villains were Scander boyfriend and his twisted sister were the best villains of the show because there's like these people. You have Scanner boyfriend who is forced into being a villain because it's like if you don't, of course, you could get killed. And this is something to basically give you worth. So it's like, okay, I can understand why he's like, yeah, I do this, I do this thing, save my people, basically. By manipulating this crazy monster girl, this girl, I think this robot girl, this android girl, then yeah, I'll be, then I get to, people finally will see that I'm worth something, So he had pretty good motivations to do what he did. Still, like, I'm still like, I don't like it, but still, I can understand why he did what he did. So his sister, I kind of understand why she was doing what she was doing. She, like a bunch of other people in this basically group, special group of the Tal Shiar, basically, who are dedicated to wiping out anything synthetic because of what wiping anything synthetic, any synthetic life basically do it because they find somehow, I don't know what what this thing is. There was this thing that they were this ritual they go through where they touch this weird energy thing, the thing pulsing with green energy, and basically that when you touch that thing, you get a vision of the apocalypse. The vision of the apocalypse, and somehow I guess they got that vision, and then they're like freaking out. Everyone's freaking out, and some of them die, kill themselves, and other ones are all, basically don't kill themselves, or they just freak out and cause harm to themselves. And Homegirl was the most stable. Twisted Sister was the most stable of all of them. She definitely was shocked by it, but still was like, yeah, I'm not hitting myself in the face with a rock, scratching out, or trying to scratch out my eyes. So yeah, So I'm like, wow, that was pretty rough. And yeah, so yeah, it was definitely weird stuff in that thing. There's weird stuff in there. But yes, her being just basically straight up evil, but being straight up evil and psychotic, but because maybe it's because of what happened to her with the thing with when she touched that thing. It could be the reason why she was all evil looking and psychotic. I don't know, evil and psychotic looking, but maybe not because wow, she was being mean to her brother. Not an enemy, someone who she works with and is very important for this thing to succeed. She's messing it, trying to basically causing problems for him. So I was like, yeah, the girl got problems. I think Scanner Boyfriend was the best villain because his motivation makes sense. He's trying to show his family and this person who may try to kill him if he's not careful that he is worth keeping alive and not being interrupted. So yeah, I kind of liked him as a villain. Anyway, yeah, her wasn't not that best negative villain. Yeah, the one that killed Icheb, that was in charge of killing Icheb, was pretty bad because she's like, yeah, I totally took Icheb's eye and other body parts and a bunch of other people's eyes and body parts. Yeah, I'm evil. And 79's like, oh yeah, dead. And I'm like, okay. Say, and then it was like this Romulan ship, weird Romulan ship that was supposed to be, it was an old school Romulan ship, like from the original series, and it basically caused a bit of a problem, but with 709's help, they were able to basically to disable it and get away. So it was like, yeah, it wasn't that as big a deal as they were making it out to be. And then, of course, you continue going until we get to that final episode and see the stuff. And it's like, okay, the final episode, we get to see the stuff. And I'm like, yes, this is great. This is the best. And then it's like, yeah, we did it. The final episode, we had a great time. And then we had one of the best things ever. Picard's death. After decades of service, of being one of the most awesome captains ever. Picard's death, and it's just like, yes, this is his send off, and it was an amazing send off. He's doing awesome, cool stuff. Yes, it's in a generic ship, but who cares? It's Picard doing awesome, cool stuff, even though it's with someone, this crazy psycho murderer girl, this crazy psycho murderer girl who freaking killed this dude because of what she was. So, oh yeah, one of the people there with the one of the people who touched the thing or caused tell the other people to touch the thing was the Vulcan, half Vulcan. There was the commander of security, head of security of Starfleet, and she mind melded those images to the doctor that killed Maddox. So then she's freaked out. That caused her to freak out enough to kill Maddox. Okay, but not kill anyone else while trying to stop, while trying to stop this whole thing from coming to pass. I'm sorry, Homegirl could have gotten killed. Homegirl, twin sister probably would not trust the Doctor that killed Maddox with Homegirl, with being near Homegirl, being near any of the synthetics. Because I'm sorry, she killed her boyfriend with little hesitation. What do you think she's gonna do to the people that are actually responsible? The people that actually are supposed to bring about that stuff. So yeah, that was horrible. That was horrible. Yeah, that was the worst thing. That was a pretty bad thing. But even with her being the co-pilot, Picard's sacrifice was amazing. And then they ruin it with this whole, yeah, he's back alive again. And then they try to get more sympathy with Data's backup program being terminated or something. Because talking about the lesson of immortality is bad. It's Bocart. Bocart. So it's like, I'm looking at it, it's like, are we supposed to feel sorry? Am I supposed to feel sorry for this dude? It's Data, yes, but it's he's already dead. The dude was dead. They basically revived, resurrected his program in this weird thing, and now they're pulling out the pieces, pulling out the things that keep it going. And I'm like, well, a very sad bluesy version of Blue Skies plays, and it's like, no, I know it's supposed to be something that you feel sorry for, but I don't feel sorry. I don't feel like this is anything. I don't feel very sad about it because he's already dead. He died already. And then I'm like, no. I was like, yes, Picard. When Picard died, I was like, yes, that makes sense. This is how he want to go. And then he's back. And it's like, oh yes, Data is alive. We're gonna kill him. What? So the tone was a definite issue in this series. Yeah. So overall, I'm running definitely longer. So I was hoping to get this done here. Overall, I would give this a 7. In my opinion, a 7 out of 10 because of that ending. Card sacrifice, that ending, and all the other good stuff in there. All that other good stuff in there. Scander boyfriend, 709, Hugh, Ninja Kid when it was a fight, when you needed to do a fight, that was good. Those were great things, but it's followed up by all the bad stuff. So yeah, I know. If you're looking for a classic, good Star Trek experience, you're not going to find it here until the last episode. But if you're looking for something that has Star Trek elements in a very different, very violent, very cuss-filled, and sometimes very annoying show, series, and there you go. This is it, because it's like, oh, this is cool. Oh, okay, now, I don't like this. I like this. Oh, yeah, this is cool. No, I don't. There's little bits of something, of good stuff all throughout until we get to the end and we get awesome, glorious stuff. I basically had it as an analogy. My analogy was, you have a pilot, someone flying a plane, and there's turbulence. There's good things they do, but then there's turbulence. And sometimes it's severe turbulence, and it's really rough and not fun and uncomfortable and not cool. But then it's like, at the end of the last episode, it's just like, oh man, things straighten out smooth, and it's like he does all kinds of tricks and he does all kinds of stuff, and it's just does stuff that's just only a professional can do, and it's like, it's like some of the best stuff you ever saw in your life, and it's looking like Poe from Star Trek, Star Wars Force Unleashed, taking out all those TIE fighters and stuff. It's like, woo, that's one heck of a pilot, yeah. And then when they come in for a landing and crash, and then burn, it's just like, really? You figured it out. You had something wonderful, and then you ruined it, And I heard this show. I'm like, yeah, you succeeded. You totally succeeded, because that ending takes me off so much, And if you guys are involved with Star Trek Discovery, then it's basically like, I'm like, okay, I already knew Star Trek Discovery was pretty bad already from what I've seen. My expectations are super low for that. We'll see it, and like CBS All Access, free for a month. And I'm going to see other stuff. I'm going to see that other stuff too. I'll see that other stuff on there too. But yeah, like thanks to Star Trek Picard, which was, in my opinion, the superior show, being that bad. You know, Star Trek Discovery, which in my opinion is the inferior show, basically is yeah. No, I'm not expecting that much. I'm not expecting that much. And some people will be saying, "Oh yeah, there's problems. We got problems." You know, because there's certain video games they've played that looks like they're making working on. Uh, and other videos games I'm looking at like this is kind of like Xenosaga, a little bit. I don't know, but whatever the case is, you know, this game, this movie, this maybe this should have been a movie because it's just so bad. It's just series wise, it's like these episodes suck. There's episodes that just flat out are not fun at all. And then you get to the ending and it's like, yes, this is it. This is awesome. You know, Star Wars. If it had been like that with say Star Wars Last Jedi, I would have been like, this is like the casino. It would have been like the casino episode, you know. And I would be like, oh, I hate this episode of Star Wars, you know. And then as they get to the end, it's like, all right, finally, you know, a legendary character. Then it's the minutes. All right, cool. Legendary character is doing something awesome, you know, and yeah, I don't, you know. So then it's like I like that episode. But if it had been like, oh yeah, I like the movie, play the movie. It's like, okay, I don't like the beginning of the movie. I like the beginning of the movie somewhat. The middle of the movie had problems, but then the ending of the movie was really good. So yeah, but this as episodes go, it's like, you know, this episode's crap. This episode's crap. You know, well, this episode's amazing. You know, so it's like I don't want to see any of those other episodes. I want to see this one. You know, so yeah, that's the problem. That's the problem. Yeah, I'm saying definitely a low seven, a low 7 out of 10 because of all the good stuff in there. But man, really need to work on that. They really need to make things work better. Please, guys, make that better. See you guys next time. Check me out on YouTube and DeviantArt. I'm gonna go make some sound effects for Hat Kid. Apparently, I forgot to do that. Apparently, I forgot to do that and released her with idol sound effects. So that's a little weird. So I'm gonna go make those sound effects right now. See you guys next time.